It's all that rice. Not enough carbs. Out of that dungeon. I was trying to get the internet turned back on at the house, but it's messed up. I'm going to do it tomorrow, so.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, we kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than us.
Oh, I didn't even check the audio. Is my mic all right?
Burn away, we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the
Oh, there's the complainer right there. Shut down the whole show. Saint Anubis is here. Got a weird echo, bro. Ah, I see how it is. So the Starlink that we had, I'll tell you in a minute when the show starts. That's where I've been. I actually was going to start earlier again today. Then trying to move the show up 30 minutes every day. And I had planned on it, but you think when Starlink subscription runs out, like it would run out like midnight or first thing in the morning, like a business day. Well, probably midnight, I would guess. Nope. It didn't. It ran out on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You know, just a normal fucking time for the internet to go out.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I've been messing with the Starlink. That's where I've been. That's why we're not early again tonight. So like I said, you think when like a Starlink subscription runs out that it would run out at like noon or midnight. Midnight is what I basically picked. I figured it'd be off at midnight. I probably wouldn't notice till the next day. The next day I could put my card information. So the Starlink that we're using at home, the actual equipment was loaned to us by someone who had it. And then it was free. So Starlink was free after the flood for like a couple months, 2 or 3 months. And then the person who loaned it to us was paying the Starlink bill. They told us not to worry about it because we got affected by the flood, blah, blah, blah. They were paying the Starlink bill. Well, then it's been a while. So they had some changes to make or whatever. And I just asked them if we could keep the equipment on loan, not permanently, because we still don't have internet there, and you don't have good cell phone service there. So I asked them if we could keep the equipment, but I would start paying for it. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. You know, no one needs the equipment right now. You're cool. And we'll probably have fiber internet back within maybe a month or 2 months. They've just been putting in the conduit to pull the new lines recently. So I knew it was supposed to run out today. I figured it would run out at midnight tonight, and then in the morning, I could just go and pay it, right? Like log on through the app and pay it. Now, when they first set up the Starlink for us, this a man and his wife, or wife and a woman and her husband, they came out and set it up, right? They came out and set it up, got it going. We got everything hooked up. I downloaded the app. But I never officially logged into their account, okay? And they told me they would give me the login for the account when this was back in October, but I was like, oh, no, I don't even need it. Like, I can do everything without having to log in. Like, I can reset it. I can check the map and make sure it's clear of obstructions. I can turn on the heater mode if it gets snowing. I can do all that without having to log in. The one thing you can't do, though, is pay. You cannot pay without logging in. So Mariah called me and said the internet was out, and she sent me a screenshot of it saying, like, you don't have a current account or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, just put in our card information. She's like, I can't. So I was like, well, you have to register it like it's a new account. She tried. Then she told me, you're going to have to come home and do it. So I went all the way back home for the 4th time today and tried to register it. But it's like an iPhone, dude. You know, like if you lose an iPhone and you're logged into it, it's hooked to your Apple ID. Like, no matter who finds it, they can never fucking use it, right? Because it's logged to your... It's like that. So, it doesn't matter factory reset. It doesn't matter unplug it. It doesn't matter delete everything in it. It doesn't matter. It's linked to their account, and there was no way that I could fucking pay for a month of Starlink service. So, I tried to get a hold of the person who was paying it and tell them, hey, can I have your login information? I just put my card in. Or you can remove it from your account, and I can make a new account and do it. Whatever you're comfortable with. But they weren't, they're probably in bed, I guess. It was like probably right before 9 o'clock before I started reaching out. Maybe they went to bed early, have a big day. So Mariah and the kids are at home with no internet and very, very limited service. So we'll see what happens. Again, thank you guys for joining us. I'm here, even though it's late. Appreciate you guys coming out. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. If you want to support the show, do that at coldbeer.fund. I really wish I didn't have to use Starlink. If there was any other option to keep from fucking sending Elon Musk money, I would do it. But that's the only option we got. So that's where we're at. Hopefully I get the information tomorrow and can hook it back up so we'll have a little bit of service. I don't like, even if we could do without internet, right, data, I like there being better Wi-Fi calling just in case there's an emergency or something. But hopefully tomorrow we'll have it hooked up. Either way, again, thank you guys for joining us. There's a few different things going on. I don't really know where we want to start. Let's start with whatever the hell what is a daily dose of crime, Dr. J? What is that? Gas is about to be a lot cheaper.
On Tuesday, April 2nd of 2024, a distressing incident unfolded in Craighead County when a 7-year-old boy was found walking alone miles from home. A concerned citizen alerted authorities after the child, attempting to reach...
Heartless mom forced a 7-year-old to walk 8 miles to school alone? What the fuck is this? You gonna make me sad, Dr. J?
Appeared at his farm shop on Craighead Road 457. The boy explained that he had missed the school bus that morning and was afraid of getting into trouble at home if he didn't make it to school. Alley View School was...
A 7-year-old afraid of saying I missed the bus? My youngest son's just, 8? 9? He's 9. He'd tell me in a heartbeat when he fucked something up. He's just like, I fucked it up.
Over 7 miles away, making the boy's journey both dangerous and alarming. When Deputy Lloyd Norman arrived on the scene, the child recounted how he had been sent to bed without supper the night before as punishment. He also revealed that he was responsible for setting his own alarm, waking up, and getting ready for school on his own, because in his words, she wasn't going to.
Wow, this is a horrible story, Dr. J. Is this how we're going to start the whole show off?
Deputy was further disturbed to learn that the boy had not eaten breakfast that morning.
Morning.
This is a trap. This is the first video I saw on Discord, and you knew I was going to want to watch it.
How are you?
It's not raining.
No? Got a little shower a while ago, but other than that, I think that's all we got.
How you doing, buddy? Where you live at? Say what?
Can't remember.
Bad.
Oh, it's okay. You can't remember?
Yeah, I am going to my school.
You're going to school?
So you know where Valley
I mean, at least he's not terrified of the cops.
was? I'm going there.
I do. I'm here to help you this morning, okay?
I was feeding, and I just caught a glimpse. Coming by the side of the barn, I thought, okay, there's supposed to be somebody here, you know. And I look, this little guy. He says he's missed the bus.
We will talk about Trump and his missteps and why gas is going to be extremely cheap, but you might have record heating bills, energy bills for your home in a minute. Let's see what this is. We can all cry for a while.
Okay.
Mom told him he had to go to school.
Where's your mama at?
I don't know what.
Is she at home?
Yeah, but I don't know what road.
See, I can't figure out which bus driver runs this route. Not a whole lot of kids
I know his address. We'll fix him over here in a minute. Did you talk to your mom this morning?
No, I got in trouble, and then my mom said today you have to wake up on your own and try to catch the bus.
Dude, that is so fucking sad, dude. I got in trouble last night, and my mom said you got to get up on your own and try to catch the bus.
You should maybe like. Now she doesn't want me. She said like I got in trouble last night, and then she said, hey, go to sleep. I won't set your alarm clock, and she won't like wake me and say goodbye.
Okay, so you had to get yourself up today. Did you sleep in your bed last night? Inside the house?
See, at first he told me he'd been out all night, and then he started, you know, and I thought, man, all night.
Was you outside last night?
No,
But you slept in your own bed last night? And you had blankets and covers and everything? Did you set
This is horrible, dude.
your alarm?
My mom always do that, but she didn't.
Do you know how to set your alarm?
Oh, update. I was watching Destiny earlier. Actually, Jen told me about it. Destiny is going to be interviewing. He was supposed to interview tonight that Z woman that we've been talking about that everybody fucking turned on. But she wants, he was confused. Somebody was confused. She wants to talk in private first, and then she'll probably be on the stream to talk.
So no alarm was set and you got up a little late? Okay.
Said his mom's name Hawkins.
No, I can't remember.
You can't remember your mama's name? You just call her mama? Okay. All right, well, I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to go back to your house for a minute, okay?
Are you trying to identify us by our accents? That's pretty microaggressive towards Southern people, okay? I can tell pretty easily they live further south than I do. But you wouldn't know that, not being part of this community, right? You wouldn't know that. I'll let it slide this time. But clearly they're further south than I am. I can already tell.
And then
I can't really know where
I know where it's at.
Where?
And then we will check on getting you to school, okay?
Just because you've driven by a trailer park doesn't make you one of us, okay? And just shut that shit down.
Okay.
But she just wants me to go to school because she loves me, but she wants me to go to school.
Okay, well, we're going to make sure you get to school, but we're going to go talk to her real quick, too.
And he's just a kid, too. He's like, well, she loves me, so she wants me to go to school.
Okay.
Jesus.
Did you eat breakfast this morning or anything? Are you hungry? All right. Did you eat supper last night? You didn't eat last night either?
She said you're not gonna eat supper, and she said you just eat to stay in your room for all night.
Okay.
And I just been doing my homework.
What'd you get in trouble for?
Can't remember, it was so long.
Oh, you can remember. Was you being loud or something? Or not picking up a mess? Or running around?
Maybe.
Being a boy?
Maybe just leaving my brother on a trampoline, and this is the story, because she just want me to.
Bringing her down when she's all spun up on meth.
She just didn't let me tell this.
Well, we both border Mississippi, so we can split it, I guess.
She just said, and I was crying my little brother, and then I was gonna get the cat, but I got distracted, and because like the neighbor come tell me, and I wanted to, because she don't let me pick it up, and I was gonna bring it to my brother.
And you left your brother on the trampoline. How old's your brother? Do you know?
And my friend Noah was watching, and he.
How old's your brother?
Dude, I have to admit this, okay? I literally live in a town with the population is like fucking 12,000 people, okay? Like it's tiny. I lived here my whole life. I grew up here, went to school every year, the same county. We only have one high school, but we have a couple elementary schools. When I first turned 18, I went on the road to work for a little bit. Then got in some legal trouble, joined the Army, and worked on the road again. But this has always been my home. So I was raised very Trump adjacent. Okay, I was raised to like fucking Barack Obama is trying to turn us all into Muslims, and he's got a prayer rug behind him and shit. And I believed most of that shit. Literally, I didn't wake up from all that until a couple of different things happened. One was after the 2020 election, Trump fucking lost. And he would make all these fucking claims about they did this, they did that, they did that. And I like to research. So I would research every fucking claim. And every time I looked into it, he was fucking lying. Right? So the election buildup was pretty bad, or post-election was pretty bad with these claims. And then January 6th happened. And January 6th is fucking horrible. Dude, see those people screaming and attacking cops and breaking in and shit over the election. Then one of the things I used to cover pretty heavily were these like grifter types that are like QAnon people, right? They either claim to decode Q or be Q or talk to Q or they're military intelligence but through the process of covering them, they would make these crazy claims that I would research and disprove. But then Trump started making those claims too. So it was like I can't cover these people who are making claim A and disprove them and make fun of them and talk about how fucking stupid they are. And then Trump also makes claim A. Like it just didn't go together. It basically shattered everything that I grew up believing, the way I was raised, the things I was taught. But I'm out of it now, I think.
I didn't know it. Maybe got off the trampoline.
Okay. All right. Well, come with me. We'll go run to your house real quick. Okay.
I wanted to go to school because my mom don't want me to. She want me to go to school. So.
Okay. Well, come with me then.
Are you going to go to school?
Say what? I'll be back in a second.
This is actually Arkansas.
Are you going to go to school?
In a minute.
I had to look it up.
Get up there and have a seat. Give me just a second, okay? I'm going to go talk to this guy up here, okay? I'm going to get your information real quick.
I don't know what Hawkins around here. He said that his bus comes down this road. See, I don't know if he lives down like that down.
I got the address up there, but I don't know what it is.
First he told me he'd been out all night. And I'm like, why have you been out all night? You know? And then he says, well, it was kind of dark and I missed the bus. But at first he wouldn't tell me anything. He was scared, man. You know? And he was like, please just take me to school. I'm like, I can't just take you to school, buddy, because
You did the right thing.
He's more concerned with getting to school so he doesn't get in trouble than he is ever about getting back home to his mom. Because he knows he's going to get in trouble for missing the bus.
you know,
There's actually a family at their house right now trying to figure out where he's at. So they don't know that he's over here. But
maybe then.
we'll go from there.
There you go.
How you doing? Yep.
Okay, so my wife called. We say at 116 CR 457.
Yep.
It's her neighbor's kid. She was driving down here this morning. She called the police, and she picked him up. He was walking. She took him back home, and she's been up there beating on mom's door, trying to get him to come to the door. She said the kid went around the back of their house and disappeared. And she opened up the door. She yelled inside. We called her cell phone. We messaged her on Facebook.
Doors unlocked though?
Doors unlocked. She's up there at my house. My wife's freaking the fuck out. She's like, I don't know if this kid's in the house. And
So his wife picked up this kid walking this morning, took him back home, and the mom still is fucking out of it. And the kid tried to walk to school again to not get in trouble.
I was like, honey, I'm driving here to the house. She said, there's a cop down here, and I see a kid on the porch. So we drive back down there, make sure he didn't head back. She said that his mom was going to.
I think you're pronouncing it wrong. If I had to guess. I know I basically got all the southern states. They get a little confusing when they get tiny, and there's like New Hampshire, New Mexico, New York, whatever's up there in like the top right corner. But I got most of the states down here.
Be really angry if he didn't make it to school.
While we're fixing to head over there.
Okay. I'm going to call my wife too, man. Like, I don't know where his kid's at. She's like, I don't know where his kid's at.
He showed up. I guess he saw this vehicle and something, you know, and I just seen him come back past the side.
You ready?
Damn, didn't even let him right up front. Jesus.
I'll follow you over. Okay.
16 to 40.
Good.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's got to be like she's just got to be like a junkie, like strung out or some shit. It's got to be. Imagine you miss the bus, right? And a neighbor brings you home and tells you to go home, and you're still so scared of getting in trouble. You try to walk to school again. He doesn't even know where. At 7 years old, he couldn't find his school if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? An 8-mile walk. My kid is 9. He gets driven to school every day and picked up from school every day. And the other day, and he's went to the same school for 3 years. The other day, I just let him make all the turns to take us home. Like when I would come to, I was just messing with it, like playing around with him. When I would come to an intersection, I'd say, okay, we go left or right or straight. And he couldn't even get us home. Like there's no way he could have walked to school. He just didn't want to get in trouble.
His address right now. I'll be right back, okay, buddy?
Oh, I didn't mention, there's probably only 5 turns to get us from my son's school to home. It's not a bad looking neighborhood.
Here, you want something to drink?
If this is it.
You got anything to eat?
It's a pretty decent looking neighborhood.
You got anything to munch on? Yeah, I got some, so we can get supper or breakfast this morning. Some beef jerky. You want some beef jerky? You do? He said he's got a 2-year-old brother, is what he told me down there.
Yeah.
He was all the way down there by the landfill. He walked that far?
Yeah, well, I picked him up and I brought him back. And he, whenever I was, because he opened the door and I didn't go in, but I was yelling for him. And he walked around the house, so I thought he went in the back. And I've been yelling for him, and I can't get him to come to the door. Well, I know why. I don't know how he went past me.
He said Mama's going to be really mad if he didn't make it to school.
Yeah, that's what she said too. I told her, I said, don't leave until you find out somebody's okay then.
Well, we're going to keep him in here for now so he don't run off.
Okay, yeah.
I know I'm right. Google how to pronounce it. You're not from here, okay? You can't tell us how to pronounce our own words.
No? Who else is in the house? Your baby brother?
It's EAV, Eastern Appalachian Vernacular. I don't want to hear it anymore.
How's your baby brother? One's 3, one's 2. You don't know.
If it stands to reason, if there's a Kansas, then there's an Arkansas with an AR in front of it.
Mom's out, you haven't seen her today? What's your dad? You haven't seen him either? Does he live here? Which dad? He said he got in trouble last night, and they sent him to bed with no supper. Told him he was going to bed and setting his own alarm, getting up and going to school on his own. They wouldn't wake him up, so he got up this morning late on his own, missed the bus, and his mom told him last night if he missed the bus, he'd be in trouble.
I can already tell you live way too close to Canada to be telling me how to pronounce states in the South, okay?
So he started walking. You can't be walking by yourself, buddy. It's scary.
He got beef jerky. I got some jerky.
Right.
See if I try it.
Please go clear this house. Hey, we'll be right back, okay? Okay. There you go. Yeah, we're trying to make contact with her. He was starving. I don't have any statement for him if you want her to fill out a statement. We're going to get you to fill out a statement here in a little bit. Yeah, let's see if we can try to... She opened up hollers, but nobody came in there. But she said there is a...
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice neighborhood, right? Driveway could use some work. Goalpost is down. It's nicer than any house we ever rented when I grew up.
They lived here, but they didn't know his name or number, but she got her phone number, but... Well, we're fixing to she can you remember his name?
Lots of toys in the front. You can tell kids live there. Huh.
We're fixing to scare the hell out of somebody. Huh? So we're fixing to scare the hell out of somebody. Sheriff's office.
The deputy concerned for the boy's welfare took him back to his home but received no response from the mother, 33-year-old Amber Nicole Thompson. Deputies entered the house through an unlocked door, discovering 2 other young boys aged 2 and 3 asleep, along with Thompson, who was found...
Oh, shit, there's 2 more. So that the neighbors probably can't tell them apart. They're so close in age.
...in one of the bedrooms.
Sheriff's office. Sheriff's department. Kid in the bedroom out there sleeping. Hey, buddy. Sheriff's office. No kid.
Tyson Blake.
Hey, buddy. Hey, the police.
Bunk bed.
Sheriff's office.
Couch.
Clear. Hey, buddy, where's your mom?
That's a real nice house. Yeah. Whiskey leaks. Is that Pig Head Seth in the chat? I didn't know if you got my signal message or not. We're going live.
Where's your mom at? Sheriff's office! Sheriff's office! Hey, stay in there, buddy. Hey, go back to your room. Sheriff's office!
Maybe.
Sheriff's department! Sheriff's office!
When confronted, Thompson dismissed the seriousness of the situation, stating that it wasn't her problem if the boy walked to school, as she
What?
believed he was old enough to handle himself.
Hello?
Damn crotch goblins always getting me in trouble.
Sheriff's office. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm trying to figure out why your kid's walking down the road by the landfill on his own.
She does. I mean, we haven't seen her close up, but I figured like meth sores and shit, and like I don't know.
Who? Which kid?
Your 7-year-old.
I don't know him.
He said you told him to get up and go to school on his own this morning.
He got in a lot of trouble last night, and he got an alarm for Easter.
Well, he missed the bus, and he's scared of you, so
he's scared of me.
Took it amongst himself to walk all the way down.
Oh, that's not a good sign. I've seen that before. You scared of me? You wait. That's a wait till these cops leave.
I'm by the landfill.
He's scared of me. Okay. I mean, he can be scared of me all he wants. He needs to be scared of me. I'm his parent. That's my job.
You got any ID on you, ma'am?
My husband actually has it. He has my ID and my social. He had to take to an attorney's office for some things for our business.
Okay, well, what's your first name?
Amber Thompson. I know my ID. I know my.
Let's analyze this nightstand here. We got 2 empty bottles, a mini Sprite can, something that is yellowish, almost like lemonade. Is that a pill bottle back there?
DL number by heart.
That might be a soda can, a water, baby wipes, cell phone, a cigarette butt.
What did he get in trouble for?
Who?
Your son.
He
Who? He got a lot of trouble last night. What did he get in trouble for? Who?
purposely left his 2-year-old brother on a trampoline in the backyard by the pond because he thought he just like I said, he wanted to be mean and left him on there by himself.
What's your birthday?
8/22 of 90.
So you think it's...
He also yelled at
You said 92?
90. He also yelled at a teacher. He also lied to me when he got home about what happened at school that day, so I've got these patches on my face. He also yelled at a teacher, and then he tried to hide his report card when he got home. It's been a whole mess of stuff lately. Okay. He also...
Did he get to eat supper last night?
A 7-year-old, though, dude. Could you imagine? Like, there's no way I could tell Ollie to set an alarm and get up and get himself to school. And he's 9. There's no way. It would be hard to get my 14-year-old to do that.
Because he told us
he did not get to eat supper. That's the first time that has ever happened. Ever.
Okay.
But when he left his 2-year-old brother because he said he wanted to go play with a cat.
Yep.
And he left one of my other babies on a trampoline.
There's no 7-year-old should be watching a 2-year-old.
But
maybe for you, like, to run and grab something or something, but he shouldn't have a chance to abandon a 2-year-old. That's going to happen.
With you being an adult, you can't expect a 7-year-old to give his full attention to a 2-year-old kid.
Yes, I can. When he says,
All right.
I want to play outside.
Well, come out front with us real quick.
I have 2 other babies that are sleeping.
Yeah, we don't welcome up.
They're not sleeping now because we had to come in to find you, okay?
Hey, you need to let John's attitude with me. I'm being very kind. I'm a mother.
Don't get no attitude with me.
3 boys, and I'm doing everything I can do. Where are my babies?
Well, we're over in there. He's out to the police people outside, okay? And we don't have that.
Y'all are both lit. Y'all are tuning in, runners, and just calm down. Everything y'all want to do. You don't need to have an attitude. You don't need to have it just because you're a call. Okay.
This is probably that lady that told me I was pronouncing Arkansas wrong. It's Arkansas, or whatever she said.
Well, listen, man, we can just take you to jail for child endangerment.
I didn't do anything.
You let an 8-year-old get all the way across town. That's a problem. So don't say that we have an attitude. No, listen, you talked this whole time. Don't say we have an attitude when your 8-year-old is walking down the street and we can't get a hold of you. Okay?
Okay.
It's a problem. The kid is starving right now. I had to feed him beef jerky because...
starving.
35 started.
No, he didn't.
He hasn't had breakfast either.
Yes, he did.
No kid should be punished with food.
He had breakfast this morning.
I realized that was a thing before. Like, well, you go to bed without dinner. You shouldn't do that. It should be a punishment for kids.
I haven't seen you this morning.
No, that was what he was told to do this morning. This is the first
You
time
expect to say...
He was told to get his own. So she said, no, he had breakfast this morning. He had breakfast this morning. He said he didn't. He ain't seen you this morning. He was told to get breakfast this morning.
7-year-old. He hasn't had breakfast either.
Yes, he did. He had breakfast this morning.
He said he hadn't even seen you this morning.
No, that was what he was told to do this morning. This is the first time.
You expect a 7-year-old to be an adult on his own? Are you serious?
This is absolutely the first time this has ever happened for him to have to wake
You just hang tight up here.
Huh?
Just hang tight up here. I'm fixing to call. I'm fixing to call the child services.
By the way, we are not getting you.
Wow.
If I need it.
Talk about not taking accountability. Jesus Christ. How long do you think she would have slept without knowing that her kid was missing? Right? At least until school let out. And however long it took to get for the bus usually to return him.
No, that's what I asked you for. Dispatch.
Thompson was promptly arrested and taken to the Craighead County Detention.
Good. endanger welfare of a minor, first degree, risk of death, physical injury, deserted under 10.
Center. The State Department of Human Services was called to the residence where they discovered bruises on the 3-year-old boy's face, arms, back, and buttocks. Thompson's husband admitted to spanking the child 3 times for lying. District Judge David Bowling charged Amber Nicole Thompson with second-degree domestic battery of a child under 12, a Class C felony, and first-degree endangering the welfare of a minor, a Class D felony. Thompson's bond was set at $50,000.
Well, I see the meth source now. Hold on, we'll zoom in. Enhance. I see him now. Yeah. She must have had some concealer on, or it was a bad camera angle or something. Good lighting. It makes more sense now. Makes sense. Mariah can set 35 alarms. Mariah can set 35 fucking alarms and sleep through every one of them. But if I set one alarm, the second it goes off, she's like, what the fuck is that alarm? Now I'm awake, can't go back to sleep, shut it off. It's amazing the way it works. It's quite amazing. All right, let's get into this. So, do you guys remember how well inflation tracks with Donald Trump's deal with OPEC? Let me grab this link. So inflation from May 1st of 2020 to April 1st of 2022 tracks almost perfectly with Donald Trump's OPEC deal, right? Almost perfectly. When it ends, inflation starts coming. Oh shit! The tweet must be gone. Did I change something in there? No, I'll find it. It's Mr. Global's video. It tracks almost perfectly between the two. And this is a deal where Donald Trump talked OPEC into changing their production numbers. Well, since he came in, he's been asking OPEC to increase their production. And they've decided they're going to do it, okay? They're going to increase production. This will be the second month in a row, but they're planning on doing it this month in May. I think it's another 400,000 barrels. We'll look in a second. And then they're going to do it for, that's not it. Then they're going to do it for next month as well. Now, what does that mean for us? It means we're going to get really, really, really cheap gas, okay? But when we have really cheap gas, the U.S. gas industry cannot survive, okay? The U.S. gas industry, when gas starts getting down well below $50 a barrel, or crude starts getting well below $50 a barrel, the U.S. gas industry can't afford to pay people to work here. Okay, so the only people who make money during that period are OPEC members or foreign oil. Okay, Donald Trump is so hung up on the price of gas that he's going to destroy the U.S. oil and gas market just to get gas cheaper so he can lie and say shit like gas is $1.98 a gallon like he did the other day. Now, cheap gas is typically good, right? We like cheap gas. The problem is when U.S. oil companies shut down production, when it's no longer feasible for them to do crude because the price has dropped so low, when that gas drops and they shut down production, this production just doesn't fire right back up. Right? It doesn't just fire right back up, okay? It's shut down and it takes a while for it to come back online. The last time Donald Trump did this and left us in the lurch after the deal went through, we saw gas at $5 a gallon, right, towards the end of his term. It's going to hurt the U.S. gas industry. Whether you like gas and oil or fossil fuels or not, it doesn't really matter. It's going to hurt that industry. When OPEC inevitably tries to walk this back, and they're like, okay, well, we're done producing extra oil. We're not going to have our own companies to produce that oil, and gas is going to shoot through the roof. So we're going to have a period of low gas prices And then that's eventually going to come to a head, and we're going to have a period of extremely high gas prices. But it's different this time that Trump's in office, because last time, I don't know if you guys remember, but right at the end of Joe Biden's presidency, he wanted to limit LNG exports. He wanted to limit LNG exports. Why? Because LNG is one of the most used energy sources that we use to heat our homes and power our homes, okay? And it was exponentially going off the fucking chart and driving U.S. energy prices up. Donald Trump comes in and says, no. It has Joe Biden's name on it, so we got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of that. Joe Biden's on it. Got to get rid of it. When those two issues combine, that U.S. oil manufacturers are down, and as a byproduct of oil, we get what? LNG. Okay, when we're drilling for oil, we get LNG just for free. We just hit pockets of it. That shit just comes out, and we bottle it. So if we're not drilling for as much crude, and we need LNG, but LNG exports are through the fucking roof, what's going to happen to the price of LNG? Which, again, is your power that comes to your house, is the power that heats your home, the power that does everything in America. Mostly. I mean, it plays a huge part of the energy market. That price is going to shoot through the roof. No other country is going to say, no. We don't need any more LNG. We're good. We see you guys need it more than us. And Donald Trump ended any chance to limit the export of LNG that Joe Biden had put in place. We're getting ready to have super low gas prices and super, super expensive energy prices. Now, you don't have to believe me. We've covered it before the show. We've looked up the research and shit. Mr. Global has worked in the oil and gas industry his entire life. He's an oil and gas expert. He goes on like nationwide news and talks to him about LNG and shit. He's an expert. He's an oil executive. Now, let's see what he talks about.
In what will be the biggest cell phone in history, probably on Monday, oil executives and workers across the country are going to...
Yes, he's weighing heavily on other countries to buy more from us, even on LNG. And countries are making the claim that they're going to buy more LNG as part of their trade agreements.
Watch their phones and their TV screens as the markets completely...
He's literally saying on Monday, if you work in U.S. oil and gas, you're going to be able to check the news and watch your job fucking disappear.
Melt and collapse. They're going to watch their bonuses and their jobs vanish. Because OPEC...
By the way, he's already done this once. It wasn't as bad the first time he did this because LNG exports, if we look at U.S. LNG... I think he might show the chart too. But we were nowhere near where we are now, okay, for LNG exports. Let's see. So the last time Trump was in office, right, we were down here, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2020. We're now off the fucking chart. Obviously, COVID hit everybody. We're now off the fucking chart, okay? So if energy prices, last time he did this, energy prices almost tripled at the end of his administration. That was this area. What's going to happen when he cuts off U.S.? When he's limiting crude production, right? Because the market's flooded, the price is low. And then these fucking idiots want to talk about ANWR in Alaska. ANWR in Alaska. ANWR is not profitable. Oil would have to be $100+ a barrel to fucking drill an ANWR. The last time they had an auction, they've had 2 auctions of tracks, lease tracks at ANWR. The first time they claimed they were going to make billions of dollars auctioning it off for tracks, for leases. They made 14 million, not billion, 14 million. And they were selling the leases for $20 per acre. That was in Trump's first administration. The second time they opened up the second round of bidding at Anwar, they didn't even have people make an offer. They said, okay, we sold it for $20 an acre last time. Let's open up the markets again. We'll sell off some more leases in Anwar. No one even made a fucking offer. They had 0 offers. The U.S. government said we're opening up drilling leases in Anwar, and they had 0 offers for $0. Right now, there are Republicans in Congress, when they're being asked by the Democrats, how are you going to pay for these tax cuts? They are saying we will make billions by loosening the restrictions of the EPA and opening up Anwar for drilling for oil. But you're also making the price of crude go down. So if we're at like 55 or something a barrel right now, and it probably has to be at least 120 a barrel for it to make sense to drill in Anwar, and you're making that price go down even lower, who the fuck's going to drill in Anwar? Nobody.
Said, okay, we'll increase production again. Yeah, over 400,000 barrels a day. So
okay, what's 400,000 a day, not a month?
Have the day they voted for. Hey, by the way, who could have predicted? Who could have ever predicted that the global oil market would crash
again
for a third time under a Trump president?
3 times under Trump.
Wow.
In the last 3 times under Trump in the last 7 years. And he wasn't even president for 4 of those years. So if you take that 4 years Biden was out there, it's 3 times in 3 years.
Yeah. This will be the third crash in 7 years. And oh, by the way, Donald Trump wasn't the president for 4 of the last 7 years. Holy cow. When you look at it that way, that's 3 oil crashes in 3 years under a Trump administration. Wow.
Yes, he is pressing heavily on foreign countries, saying if you buy our LNG, we'll reduce some of these. Yeah.
Yeah. Who would have thought? How again did he become known as the greatest oil and gas president ever? How was that a thing? Because politics makes people really stupid? Yes, that's why. Because politics makes people unbelievably stupid. So we're going to see massive layoffs. We're going to see the rig count just plummet like nothing. Oh, my God.
That'll be the number to keep an eye on. Active U.S. oil rigs.
Production declines. We're going to see natural gas prices skyrocket. Yeah, we're going to see all of that, and we're also going to see the largest utility bills people have ever seen in their lives, and that's saying a lot because last winter we already saw that. That's what we're going to see.
We have to stop or at least slow the export of LNG. And there has to be a stable U.S. oil market, crude oil, to have that LNG as a byproduct. Here's what's going to happen. People are still going to use LNG. Power plants run off of it, right? But instead of having, 500 active rigs, we're going to go down to 200 that are producing much less LNG. We're going to want it for our power plants. Every other country in the world is going to want it because they've been buying it from us. And what do you think is going to happen to the price? LNG prices are going to go through the fucking roof.
And depending on how long this lasts and how many refineries we lose when oil prices do come back up, what are you going to see then? You're going to see the highest gas prices in history. Because we're going to lose more refining capacity because people in this country don't learn. They don't learn. I don't know why.
Donald Trump, the great drill baby drill candidate. Look at rig counts over the last 3 years. 600, this is all under Biden. 605, 599, 610, 612, 623, 627, 625. Oh, what? Donald Trump enters the chat. We're down at 478, 479 currently. And this number is going to drop. We cannot, when oil gets down this low per barrel, they don't make any profit drilling for it, right? They're not going to drill at a loss. They're not going to drill for cost to break even. They're just going to close those, and we're going to import cheap oil. You know where else we get cheap oil from, or used to? Canada. That's our biggest. We import almost all of their oil. In fact, when they wanted, when people were bitching about the Keystone XL extension, that was to get Canada's oil to a global market, not to the U.S. They wanted to get it to the coast to sell it to the rest of the world, which would drive the prices up. The biggest problem Canada has with their crude is the fact they can't get it anywhere. They can't sell it to anybody. It's too hard to get to their coast. Their only option is sell it to the U.S., and we buy it extremely cheaply. It's also got issues, a special refining process it goes to because it's a certain kind of oil, whatever. But we buy it incredibly cheaply. We used to be friends with them. I don't know that we are anymore. But when OPEC, the reason OPEC, all the countries come together and they steadily produce oil is to keep a steady price. When Donald Trump goes and says, please, 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 up your output, get more. There is more. They're not running out anytime soon. There's more. They can make more, 400,000 barrels a day more. That drives the price down, and U.S. companies can't compete. They'll just close the fucking doors. But when we buy oil from OPEC, we also don't buy their LNG that they just happen to get for free for drilling for oil.
Now, maybe it'll be short-lived, and maybe we'll sanction Iran, and this will be short-lived, and prices will recover.
I honestly think this might be another... I think Trump might want war in Iran. And this might be another precursor.
If they don't, this is going to be really bad. This is going to be really bad. Especially when oil prices come back. Because, you know, that $5 gas that you were screaming about under Biden, because we lost so much refining capacity under Trump, because he thinks the market should just be in a perpetual state of crashing, it'll be significantly higher than that. And everything I've predicted so far has come true. And the great thing about this one is I get to hear the announcement a couple of days before it actually happens. Many people are predicting that oil will fall below $50 on Monday. Hard to tell how much of this is already baked into the markets because a lot of people believed.
A lot of people are already scared about it, afraid of it. So it might be, some of it might be baked into the market already, right? People being less likely to buy or to produce or whatever because they knew Trump. He does this every time he comes to office. He goes and begs OPEC. He claims that we're going to drill here, that we're sitting on billions of dollars, that we have more energy than anybody else in the world, that this is the best, we're going to drill it all up, we're going to get it all here. Then he goes and begs OPEC to produce more oil so that the number on the pump looks better. He doesn't have the knowledge or the balls to just stand up and say, look, I would like gas to be under $2 a gallon too. But if we do that, we're relying heavily on foreign crude oil. And the U.S., it'll shutter the U.S. market. And we're putting people out of jobs, and we're shutting down rigs, and we're shutting down refineries.
They were going to do this. So some of this is baked in. Have no idea how much. Could it happen? It could absolutely happen. Good. We'll see. Thanks. In what will be the biggest self-owned.
So get ready for extremely, unless something crazy changes, war with Iran or something, get ready for extremely high energy prices. Your power bill is going to go through the fucking roof.
Climate denialists have a new idea, and it makes just as little sense as denying that global warming is real. Basically,
I don't even know what this one is.
To fight global heating, they say. Instead, we need to be pragmatic, meaning we have no choice but to keep burning fossil fuels because building up green alternatives just costs too much. That, of course, completely ignores another part of the equation, the cost of continuing to burn fossil fuels.
So quite a few people have asked me to comment on this. This is an opinion by Bloomberg. Not disregarding the fact that there are climate deniers out there. There's certainly a lot of them. But I think the vast majority of people that are labeled as climate deniers aren't necessarily climate deniers as...
Oh, shit. That was me. My bad.
Climate
deniers out there. There's certainly a lot of them. But I think the vast majority of people that are labeled as climate deniers aren't necessarily climate deniers as they are solution deniers. Like, a lot of people recognize climate change. They just don't agree with the solution. And yes, he goes on in this video to talk about how the cost for the energy transition would approach $200 trillion. But what would the results of that be, right? So that is, I think, why there's a lot of climate solution deniers. And the reason there are climate solution deniers is because for the $200 trillion, you don't get to net zero. You don't. And without getting to net zero, you do nothing for the climate. No. And that is because all of the solutions to battle climate change are fossil fuel based. We have to continue to produce fossil fuels to build out the systems, and we will have to continue to build fossil fuels to maintain the systems. So for renewable energy to reach 25% of global energy demand, it will take an additional 600 million metric tons of coal, the dirtiest fossil fuel, as well as 90 million metric tons of oil, and that's just to build either wind turbines or solar panels. That's not including all of the transportation, logistics, high voltage power lines. Those numbers are a fraction of the amount of fossil fuels we would need to actually stand all that up and implement it. Just a fraction. That's just the numbers in the materials themselves of the wind turbines and the solar panels. And that's only achieving 25% renewable energy globally. That's not anything close to net zero. This is the uncomfortable truth with the whole net zero thing. And the other uncomfortable truth with the
net zero, I agree, would be hard, but isn't going closer to net zero better than not doing anything?
Zero thing is that AI is going to have to eventually get good enough where it teaches us how to solve this problem. That is the most likely scenario. And the uncomfortable truth about that is for AI to achieve that, it's going to take an enormous amount of fossil fuels.
Oh, Elon Musk knows about that. Have you guys seen him running his portable generators where he's only authorized to run 5 and he's running 13 down in Memphis?
The power generation for AI. It's like a double-edged sword, right? So we have a bank of CO2 that scientists say we can emit into the atmosphere.
Carbon capture would be good. Some type of carbon active atmospheric carbon capture.
And once we emit that amount, that's all that matters, right? So if we emit that amount, it doesn't matter if we cut fossil fuel usage in half. Because once we fill up the RBC, once we fill up the bank, it's full. And just reducing the usage won't matter once the bank is full. Once the bank is full, it's full. And then you're looking at, let's say we did get to net zero, you're looking at a minimum of 50 years to see any improvement whatsoever in the climate. People can't wait 50 years for anything.
That is true. And not that it's not a viable goal, even though it's going to take 50 years or 100 years or whatever. It is a viable goal, right? We shouldn't be fucking up the planet and leaving it to the next people. But it's hard to get people's attention to look at something that the solution is so far down the road.
That's not in our nature, right? That doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying this is the reality of the situation. So what, environmentalists are asking for is $200 trillion for an energy transition that will probably take at least 40 years to implement. And then they want us to wait another 50 years to possibly see any results of that. That's what they're asking for, right? And it doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means it takes a lot of faith in them being right.
We can't even fucking prevent Donald Trump from getting elected. I don't know that we're going to be able to tackle this.
For people to actually do that. A lot of faith. But that's why I'm such a big proponent of carbon capture systems and
oh, that's what I said.
Advancing that technology, because regardless of what we do, if at some point we're not actually pulling carbon out of the air, and I know that sounds crazy, if we're not doing that, we're not doing anything. That's where we have to get to actually improve this situation is to be able to pull massive amounts of carbon out of the air. Period. Thanks.
That makes sense. I don't think he's a climate denier, but that does make sense. It's hard to get people behind such a long journey to get there, without being able to show them results quick, especially when we're talking about spending. clearly, with all the people that fucking support Doge, they're all for cutting spending. Here we go. Maybe I'm wrong, but under the Trump administration, my gas station bill and my utility bills were the cheapest they had ever been. That's a lie. It's just not true. Unless you're talking about the short stint during COVID where everything bottomed out, that's a lie.
I'm wrong, but under the Trump administration, my gas station bill and my utility bill was cheaper than they.
I don't know what this phenomenon is, but it seems like Trump has said it so many times that this is all you hear from Trump supporters. I had somebody in the comments try to tell me that they paid $18 for a dozen of eggs under Biden, and now they're paying $4 a dozen. I get it that our memory is inherently flawed, but it's almost like the phrase he tells everybody where privately, but multiple people have said it, that he believes if he repeats a lie enough, if he just says it over and over and over again, eventually it becomes a truth. Shit was high under Trump. Energy, gas.
Had ever been. They clearly went down under the Trump administration. This is a response to me saying the oil market's crashing on Monday and utility bills are going to skyrocket. Yeah. Are you sure about that, though?
Pull the data.
About that? You sure about that? Because we could go off of your memory, which has been tainted by lies from politicians, or we could just look at the data. Yeah. Let's look at the data. You paid less for gas than you ever did when Trump was the president. Did you just start driving when Trump became president? Is that why? Because gas prices increased under the Trump administration. Yeah. This is Obama's last 2 years, 252 and
252, 225, 252, 8, 280, 281, 269.
Year jumped to 252. Second year, 281. Third year, 269. Right? These are all higher than this, right? Fourth year during COVID, finally got back to the same Obama had in his last year, only because of COVID. So what does this mean? Gas prices did not go down under the Trump administration. That's what that means. But hey, Trump says if you tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth. What else did you say? Your utilities were the cheapest they'd ever been? That's weird because they went up every single
12.65, 12.55, 12.89. So it starts with Trump at 12.5, 12.8, 12.8, 13.0, 13.15.
Year of the Trump administration. Yeah. When Trump left office, they were higher, and they were higher every year. And why are utility bills and natural gas prices going to go up when oil production falls in the United States? When that didn't happen under Trump? Well, because it's not 2018 anymore, or 2019 or 2020. It's 2025. Yeah, this isn't like Groundhog's Day. Well, it is in some way.
It feels like it. Yeah.
It's change, and different things, have different effects on, there is no identical market from one year to the next. So this is LNG exports. This is what we were exporting.
There's the chart I just showed you, right?
Under Donald Trump. So when COVID hit,
the one good thing that you could hate Biden if you want to, one thing that he saw coming was this LNG crisis we're about to have. Again, it's a byproduct of drilling for oil. We use it. We use so much LNG. To power everything. We can't keep sending it all over the world.
And oil production fell, you didn't see natural gas prices skyrocket. But natural gas demand also fell too. Natural gas demand is not going to fall this time. Anyway, this right here is what we're exporting now.
It's 40% of our energy production in the U.S. 40%. This even says, however, LNG exports have grown significantly, with the U.S. becoming the world's largest LNG exporter. 26% of our total exports was LNG.
We are exporting 7 times more natural gas now than we were under the Trump administration. And this is what's causing everyone's utility bills to skyrocket. And that's why Joe Biden tried to put a stop to it. Because he saw this coming. I've been saying this is coming for a long time. But no, the Republicans told you that
Oh, thank you. 2,000 bits. I appreciate it.
they're going to cut your electric bill in half. And
Damn it. I was hoping it was broken.
This is to my friend T. Having a bad day, so let's get it on. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's get it on, everyone. Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, yeah. Woo. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Oh yeah. Let's get it on.
It's working.
Okay.
Poor Mr. Global's getting air raped. Oh yeah, thrust it. What a donation alert.
Dancing time.
Dancing time.
I gotta take a break.
He's got to take a break.
Hope that works for you.
Hope that works for you there, Austin. Thank you for the 2,000 bits. Jesus. Hope that works for you.
triple this. That's dumb.
It was it's way too fucking long to be a donation alert. That's my favorite part. You keep thinking it's going to end, but it's like 4 minutes. You just got to sit there and watch it.
Thanks. So in response to my video about renewable.
Again, keep talking about oil and gas and stop there. The EU was at 21% of primary energy from renewables, never mind nuclear. Brazil, it was at 60%, 2023 figures.
Energy and climate change and the transition, this person says, again, keep talking about oil and gas and stop there. The EU is at 21% of primary energy from renewables, never mind nuclear. Well, the rest of the world can't deindustrialize and do what the EU is doing to attain those numbers. Because that's literally what they're doing. They're reducing the amount of their energy they are consuming by decimating their industrial base. Somebody on this planet is going to have to continue building.
I don't know if that's true. I've just never looked into it. I know they're pretty hardcore onto renewables. I don't know if they're sacrificing manufacturing to do that.
If you think that the world can do what the EU is doing, then you don't even have a basic understanding of what I'm talking about. Because some countries on this planet are going to have to continue producing and manufacturing things for us to continue existing. If the EU doesn't want to do it, because they have a not in my backyard attitude when it comes to energy, fine. And do you have any idea how hard it's going to get them to get that number from, say, 21% to 30%? Because right about now, they're at the phase where they have to start replacing the old renewable energy when they started building renewable energy. And at the rate they're building renewable energy, they're going to end up at a point where they're at a peak. And all they're doing is replacing the old renewable energy.
By the way, get ready for all the MAGA, whatever you want to call them, the maggots, to start cheering low gas prices while their lights are getting cut off, because that's what's about to happen.
There's a point where you can no longer advance. Do you understand that? Let me explain this to you in a different way. At the current rate at which we're building wind energy, we will never achieve 25% wind energy globally. It cannot possibly happen. And that's because at the current rate we're building it, it would take us nearly 80 years to get it to 25%. And what happens after 20, 25 years? You have to start replacing the first wind energy you installed. So you get
Ramesh.
You've peaked. And once you get to that point, all you're doing is replacing the stuff you started with, and you're no longer expanding your renewable base.
Yeah, it would have to be quicker than that, right? You can't be in the life cycle of it.
What if we doubled the speed at which we currently install wind energy? What would that do? It would do absolutely nothing. Because we would reduce that time from nearly 80 years to 40 years. And guess what? Wind turbines don't last 40 years, so we would still just be replacing the first ones we installed, right? Do you understand? What if we tripled it? If we tripled it, we could maintain current wind energy production. We would have to triple the rate at which we install wind energy to maintain the current wind energy production. Do you understand what I'm saying? We would have to triple it just to maintain it. And the entire time we're doing that, over that 20, 40, 80-year period, energy demand is growing. The entire time. All of those numbers are assuming that energy demand stayed exactly where it was right now. That's not a thing. So how?
What if Musk and all the AI supercomputers go to Mars, though? You're not even calculating that in?
How fast would we have to build wind energy to meet energy demand and increase the percentage of energy that is from wind? About 7 times faster than we are. And how much oil and gas and coal would it take to build that? This is why net zero is not a thing. That doesn't mean we shouldn't be working on renewable energy. That's not what I'm saying at all. And for you to suggest I shouldn't talk about it because, what, it hurt your feelings for me to tell the truth about it? Is that why I shouldn't talk about it? Because you don't like the answers I'm giving you? You sound like the Republicans that don't want me to talk about oil and gas. I just don't know how you plan a 30-year net zero goal project and have everybody on board when the entire thing is built on a complete lie to begin with. Because it is. Because it's a complete impossibility. And just because you don't like me saying that doesn't mean I'm not going to say it. You know what else is a complete impossibility? Getting halfway to net zero. Getting halfway to net zero. How about a fourth of the way to net zero? Oh, by the way, that's a complete impossibility too. Yeah, that is how unbelievably massive of an
Damn, just shit on us then, Mr. Global. Fuck.
Thanks. So in response to my video about renewable energy and climate change and the transition, this person says, again, keep talking about oil and gas and stop there. The EU is at 21% of primary energy from renewable. Probably going to get sick of hearing me say this, but...
Oh, it's from January. All right, I want to see, he probably had, here's some OPEC.
So listen, for you folks in the oil and gas industry that probably don't know this yet, we are already in an oil price war with OPEC. That's already a thing that's happening.
And Donald Trump's helping the other side, by the way.
Nobody's talking about it yet. It's happening. But the weird part is, Donald Trump isn't at war with OPEC because he loves the fact that oil is going to crash. The guy you voted for, that's going to cost you your job? That guy? Yeah, that guy. Remember I told you about that guy and you didn't listen? Remember that? Now, if you work in a natural gas field, right? If you work in a natural gas field, say the Northeast Corridor, the Haynesville, right? If you work in PA, West Virginia, Ohio, East Texas, places that are predominantly natural gas producing areas, you're going to be fine. Because as I told you, as oil prices fall, natural gas prices will rise. And everyone said, oh, Mr. Global, you don't know what you're talking about. Here's oil prices, right? Here's natural gas prices.
Damn it.
Right? And that is because less oil production means less natural gas production. Yeah. Yeah. And rig counts continue to fall. We lost another 7 rigs this week. That's people's jobs we're losing, by the way. I don't know if, there's actually like humans that work on these rigs. Yeah, that's a thing. But oil prices are falling today while the stock market is up. We had some good job numbers. That was good news. But oil continues to fall. Why? Because OPEC moved up a meeting by a couple of days. The markets are so sensitive that OPEC just moving this meeting.
Every time an oil rig falls off the list, you can usually count, and that's probably like 200 people. They just lost their job.
From Monday to Saturday caused oil prices to fall. Probably because that meeting, they're going to talk about raising production even further. Yeah. And that's because when our president, Donald Trump, says we want really low oil prices, OPEC says, okay, we'll see about that. We'll see about that, right? It's like a game of chicken. But you do have this one thing that could possibly save you. That's Iran. Donald Trump wants Iran to not be able to produce oil, and so does their arch nemesis, Yes. Saudi Arabia. Yes. So the question is, does Donald Trump want oil to be, I don't know, at $30 a barrel more than he wants Iran to not produce the oil? And he probably won't know that himself until sometime when he's on X at 3 o'clock in the morning eating Cheetos. But for the oil and gas workers that voted for Donald Trump, please do us all a favor and do what the farmers did and the other business owners did that voted for Trump. Please make sure you make videos talking about how you voted for Trump and then now you're about to lose everything. Could you do that? I could use the content. Yeah, it works great. Thanks. So listen, for you.
There's nowhere near 200 people that work on the rig, but you're talking about all the people that do work on the rig, 2 shifts, and you're talking about the inspectors and the people that come out and the people that do this and the truck drivers and the people bringing material and all the auxiliary jobs around it. 200 may be a high side, but it's at least it's something to base off of. But even if you called it 100, we're going to lose rigs left and fucking right. Oh, that is not what I want. I wanted.
You're gonna.
I do want to see this guy right here claims that he can take plastic bottles and turn them back into fuel.
So I've created my own gas station that makes fuel from plastic waste. Let's go.
It's a pretty cool idea, and when I hear him explain it, it sounds like it would work.
So
I think the problem is going to be scale. I've never seen this video, but I think the problem is scaling it at all. Like, it's fine for your backyard to make a couple gallons of gas, but to scale it up.
Julian Brown, I don't know if you follow him on TikTok. His whole channel is him making oil and fuels from plastic waste. The thing is, this is kind of old technology. It's quite impressive what he's done, especially doing this at home and building all this. But this is something we've been able to do for quite some time. Yeah. And I encourage Julian to keep up with his work. He's extremely intelligent and is, it's fascinating watching him work. But this is not something that's new. And there's a lot of problems.
Have good news for once.
That we learned.
He probably would have if we hadn't adopted that one guy into the presidential office
years ago in trying to do this industry-wide. And that is basically that the cost to do this, the amount of energy that you need to input to create oil or gasoline from plastic waste is extremely prohibitive. I watched one video of his where it looked like he had spent roughly $5 on electricity to make 2 liters of oil. And basically what that means is to make gasoline in this fashion would cost roughly 10 times more money than it would cost making it with just crude oil. The wholesale price of that gasoline would be over $20 a gallon. Yeah. And that was using 10 pounds of plastic. So you would need somewhere around 400 pounds of plastic to make enough gasoline to fill up a car at a cost of around $400 to fill up the car. Yeah. That's, by the way, that's wholesale cost. That's not, if you added taxes and everything to it, you'd be looking at north of.
So it's just not worth it. Got it.
To fill up a gas tank. And that's because even though a great deal of oil and natural gas is used to make plastic, it's not used as a major.
Plastiline, that's a good name. That's a good brand name.
It's used to create the heat that is required to make plastic. It's used in the plastic making process much more than it's used in the plastic itself. So there's not a ton of hydrocarbon chains in the plastic. And that means when you break those hydrocarbon chains down into an oil or into a gas, you don't get a lot of oil or gas out of it because there's not a large amount of hydrocarbons present within the plastic. Now, I'm not saying this in any way to dissuade or disparage or discourage this gentleman from doing anything he's doing. I think it's really cool. But a lot of people are like, oh, we need to protect this guy. He even made a video saying someone loosened all of his lug nuts. I'm not saying that's not true, but he doesn't have any knowledge that anyone else in the industry that works on this kind of stuff doesn't already have, that we're not already capable of doing. It just doesn't work. And it's fascinating and it's cool, but it will never be cost effective in any way. You just don't get enough gas out of the plastic. And there's no way to put more hydrocarbons.
All right. So that's settled. All right. Donald Trump. If you haven't heard his latest plan, he's taking away Veterans Day. Like, if he couldn't be, it's weird that he could be more anti-veteran. He's taking away Veterans Day.
Just when you think that they can't possibly get any more dumb, they do it. They get more stupid. When somebody sent me a screenshot of what looked like a...
Yeah, I mean, as long as somebody's still working on it, he might have some type of breakthrough that makes it a lot more feasible. I think he should continue.
Trump tweet saying that he was canceling Veterans Day, I thought it had to be fake because I thought this man could not possibly be that dumb. Now, the record is clear. Donald Trump hates veterans, especially Vietnam vets, especially vets who went to Iraq and Afghanistan, because he considers us as not having won that war, and therefore our service and sacrifice aren't worth shit to him. But for him to put in writing that he is erasing Veterans Day, a federal holiday since the 1960s, something that has been celebrated by Americans since the 19...
Now, he did say this. He did claim this. he's already walked it back. The White House has already walked it back.
1950s. I didn't think it was real. I didn't think that Donald Trump could be that dumb. But I guess I need to lower my expectations because it's real. Donald Trump is saying that we don't celebrate our victories enough, so he is erasing Veterans Day. No appreciation for any veterans post-World War II. And you know what? I think I know why he is.
The DQ sauced and tossed chicken strip basket comes in your choice of honey barbecue or New Buffalo.
Okay.
A bunch of veterans are planning to protest right by the Washington Monument, the National Mall, on June 6th. I don't know, but maybe Donald Trump heard about this and he wanted to say, oh, well, if you're going to go out and protest for VA benefits and not let Elon Musk just cancel all of the promises that the United States made to you, well, I'm going to take over Veterans Day and I'm going to end it. When Donald Trump was 18, he was getting fake doctor's notes to get out of the draft for Vietnam. When I was 18, I was enlisting in the Army because as a New Yorker and as a patriotic American, I felt it was my duty to serve after I watched the towers fall when I was 16 years old. Donald Trump has always thought that I was a sucker, that I was a loser for feeling that compulsion to serve my country.
I'll read his post in a second.
Right, cancel Veterans Day? That's going lower than I thought he was capable of. And that's pretty fucking low. So look, if you want to stand up for veterans, now's your chance. Go to unite4vets.org and start making plans now to join us in Washington, D.C. on June 6th, on the anniversary of D-Day. There's going to be veterans from every generation standing together and demanding that our nation keeps its promise to our veterans. If you can't join us, please visit unite4vets.org and share information about this.
Why did you put HH in chat? Somebody delete that message.
With your friends and family and people who might be able to join us. If you want to support the veterans who are organizing this and help transport veterans from around the country to Washington, D.C., you can also donate at that page. Donald Trump is trying to rewrite the past, but we're talking about the future. We're going to make a better future for veterans, and no draft dodger is going to stand in our way.
All right, here we go. Here's what it says. Many of our allies and friends are celebrating May 8th as Victory Day, but we did more than any other country by far in producing a victorious result in World War II. I am hereby renaming May 8th as Victory Day from World War II and November 11th as Victory Day for World War I. But November 11th, obviously, is already Veterans Day. We won both wars. Nobody was close to us in terms of strength, bravery, or military brilliance, but we never celebrate anything. That's because we don't have leaders anymore that know how to do so. We are going to start celebrating our victories again. Then almost immediately, the White House starts walking this back. After President Donald Trump announced that he was renaming November 11th, the date that Veterans Day is observed, as Victory Day for World War I, the White House is now saying, no, it will be an additional proclamation and not a full replacement. We are not renaming Veterans Day, Carolyn Levitt said. It would just be an additional proclamation that goes out on that day. So it's going to be Veterans Day and Victory in World War I Day. In his social media post on Thursday, Trump also said he intended to designate May 8th as Victory Day for World War II. We won both wars. Nobody came close in terms of strength, bravery, or military brilliance, but we never celebrate anything. That's because we don't have the leaders anymore that know how to do so. We are going to start celebrating our victories again, Trump wrote. Establishing a federal holiday or patriotic or national observance requires the passage of law. Who passes law, Congress? Requires a passage of law, according to the Congressional Research Service. Lawmakers created Armistice Day in 1938 to commemorate World War I. Then in 1954, after World War II and the Korean War, they renamed it Veterans Day at the urging of all veterans group, right? We didn't need a day for each individual, blah, blah, blah. I understand why other countries still observe it, especially countries that were occupied, right, or had fucking ground battles on them. That's a big deal. We were mostly isolated over here. Obviously, we had Pearl Harbor, shit like that. We were mostly isolated here. I understand why other countries celebrate it in that way, but Veterans Day is kind of a staple now. I don't think we need to get around to changing it. It's only been that way since what? 1954. 1954 is when they made it Veterans Day. Wild. Is that a funeral? Did somebody put a funeral in the mod chat? What's this video?
On May 19th, 2022.
Oh, God. Is this another sad one?
By the elementary school that a child claimed her aunt had a baby in a box.
Is this in Arkansas, too?
At home. On May 19th, 2022, officers were alerted by the elementary school that a child claimed her aunt had a baby in a box at home, causing...
Oh, I see what the funeral is. I see that. A baby in a box is what we're looking for, chat. It's like one of those I Spy games. Is she putting HH in chat on purpose? Is that what y'all are saying? For real?
Police department.
Yes.
Hello. Are you tied?
Yes.
Tiana. So you have your niece Kennedy, or nephew Kennedy?
Daughter.
Is that your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. I guess she went to school and said you have a baby in a box.
Wait, what?
That Trump claimed that gas was $1.98 a gallon. Yes. Multiple agencies have tried to research this and find even one specific gas station where it's $1.98. Nowhere was it $1.98. But he told that to a reporter. He also said that eggs were down 94%, which means like if you were paying $5 a dozen on January 20th, that today you could get them for 30 cents a dozen. No fucking way.
Yeah.
What?
She told the school counselor that there's a baby in a box in the house.
She talking about my sister's baby that she had a miscarriage.
Is it like in an urn or something?
You know, like
A miscarriage? So when do we get no tax on income? Yeah. I mean, technically that could work. We could end up in a situation where we pay no income tax. The problem is you're going to be paying so much through fucking tariffs. It's probably going to be a net loss, depending on how much shit you buy. But technically that could work.
a jewelry box.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Yeah, and my sister had it hanging
Like a jewelry box, like an urn.
up right here, but the kids was touching it, so she moved it.
Okay, so
Trump's actual quote was, "You have gasoline that hit $1.98 yesterday in a couple of states." In a couple of states.
Sister had a miscarriage.
Yes.
Did the whole funeral service, and it's like a memorial.
Yeah, that's the catch there. But we don't want to import anything. We want to buy American.
What type of box, or did she have?
No, she.
It blows my mind. All the cup and or shell and ball game, moving the cups around, misdirection and strategy they'll come up with, when literally we could just not give the tax breaks to the wealthiest people, or even, God forbid, raise their taxes a couple points and offset all of this bullshit. It's insane. Like, we will give the biggest tax breaks to the wealthiest people in America and then come up with fucking crazy nonsense ideas to try to wring that money back in.
I don't know why. She just put it in the box. I don't know.
How far along was she?
She was only.
Are they blocking her titties? Sorta. But they also rest about the ball of her ankle. So it's a big box.
Like, 4 months. This Eddie. Kennedy talking about.
Did she go to the hospital when she had the miscarriage?
No, I was there.
So, okay.
Yeah, they Kennedy at the school talking about how I have a baby.
I don't even mind federal cuts. I think if we wanted to do a forensic audit, we should have had forensic auditors. We shouldn't have had a guy that's trying to get the most fucking retweets and just lying about shit, right?
Or he said anti-TT.
Doge claims they made a cut of $160 billion, way short of their $2 trillion goal, $160 billion. But it's estimated that by the time they fight all the legal battles, the money they're not going to raise from the IRS, the money they're going to have to pay out in severance and shit like that, that it probably cost $135 billion.
Have a baby in the
Is that your sister?
Yeah,
Go by TT?
and that's her dude right here.
Okay, so you guys had a miscarriage. And you guys are just keeping
This is getting so they didn't go to the hospital after a miscarriage.
in like a memorial box.
She was only about what 3 months maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it ain't nothing like that. It's really like in a little box. Like
Yeah, I mean, that 3 months are not very big. It's like
yeah, that's why she put it in like a little jury box. Like.
okay. All right. I gotta I'll give my sergeant a call, let him know what's going on. But I don't know what we would even do.
What this brings up, when do you go? Yeah, and they're apparently they're still trying to kind of strong arm Verizon out of a deal. Not to mention all the deals. I mean, this motherfucker ends up making $8 million a day from the U.S. government in contracts. He did op research on his fucking competitors at the NLRB, the Labor Relations Board. Like, it doesn't even make any fucking sense that Musk was even there. He's the worst person to put there. But Trump is pretty bad at picking people. What is the how far along? I guess most people would say any level, right? If you're far enough along to know for sure that you're pregnant, I guess most people would go at any level to the doctor, right? After a miscarriage.
Like if there's anything to even be done, like
yeah, like because what y'all still got the box?
Yeah, been dead for about 2 years now.
2 years now. Okay. I mean, I'll explain to you outside. I don't think there's any real thing or need for us. So this gentleman here in his
it's my dick in a box.
Miscarriage 2 years ago, and they've been keeping the baby in like a memorial box, and that's what the girl's talking about.
Yeah, because that was the only thing. Because they did used to keep it right here on the fireplace.
I guess it was on the fireplace on display, and then the kids were playing with it, so now they moved it. They're talking about it.
So. Because at first they had it buried in the backyard.
What's that?
I said at first they had it like buried in the backyard, the little jewelry box.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why they.
Somebody dug it up, so I just brought it in the house.
Okay.
Well,
It's like our tits are angry at each other, so they went to different sides of the body.
Yeah.
They say anything, you know what I mean?
So.
Yeah, that's crazy. I thought so.
All right, well, if there's anything else, I'll come back and knock on the door.
Okay.
But I don't think there will be.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Oh, spoiler alert, there is.
This girl.
She got front problems, too. This is the house I expected the first mom from the first video to live in. Got an indoor-outdoor porch on it and everything.
Yes.
Hi. So I know this is unconventional.
This my sister on the phone now.
So I understand that this is probably emotional and everything else. We just need to see the box.
I just said something.
See, but the sugar, we just opened the box. The baby not in the box.
Not in the box.
Okay.
Oh, no, we couldn't find it.
I think the dog chewed it up.
What? The dog ate your genetic homework? I think the dog got it. I do. I think the dog got it.
See, but the sugar, we just opened the box. The baby not in the box.
Not in the box.
Okay.
Oh, no, we couldn't find it.
I think the
Because I fucking want to. It's my show. Why are you watching?
dog chewed it up.
Nah.
Yeah, I broke down one night because the baby was gone.
Cause that is the box the baby was in, for sure. Cause he literally just brought it to me like, look, and opened it, and I'm like, what the hell?
Okay.
What's the matter? They wanted to see the proof of the baby.
So essentially, we just have to ensure that, the baby didn't make it the full term, with
Obviously, look at the fucking box, dude. It's this big.
her going to say that you guys have a baby in the box. We just have to
Maggot, he's nuts. How about that?
ensure that it was not an actual.
That's understandable.
So it's obviously, it is what it is, and I'm definitely sorry for you guys' loss. I know it's hard. So, and it's something that probably doesn't want to be drug up. So we appreciate your cooperation and understanding, and maybe have a talk with your daughter when she comes home.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay.
What do I need to go get?
That kid's getting beat.
No. You guys are okay. You're okay.
I'm about to say I got a picture.
I think she said 2 or 3 months. I think that's what they were saying. And it was 2 years ago.
Again, if you come out and it was a big old shoebox and something like that, then that'd be we might actually have to see it, and then that sort of thing. But obviously, that's if it was in, that's the box it was in. Then,
you said you got a picture.
So
we're gonna have to take the dog in.
Yeah, we got a picture.
Questioning.
Because the baby was buried in the backyard at first. And then
I've heard plenty of stories of miscarriages that happen way early on, oftentimes in the toilet and shit. And there really is. I mean, if you stop bleeding or whatever, I guess people think there's no sense in going to the hospital. I mean, it's over now, right? There was no way.
Daddy said somebody dug it up.
Probably the dog.
It was up.
You guys have a dog?
It was my brother's dog, but he just came and got his dog.
I mean, yeah. To be honest, it was probably the dog that dug it up. It probably smelled it and dug it up.
Said the dog probably dug up the baby.
No, now he's trying to blame the cop. You're the one that said the dog ate the baby.
The dog probably dug up the baby.
I think that shit was on my old phone.
I don't think it's her tits now. I think there's kids running around.
Okay, man. If that's
it really was in that box, though.
Okay, I believe you guys.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously.
Wait till she says you had to see how many pieces we cut it in to get in that box. You wouldn't believe how many pieces we had to cut it up into to get in that little box. We couldn't find a bigger one.
No actual baby's gonna.
That's fucked up.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're gonna use I'm gonna exercise some common sense on this.
Right.
So I appreciate your guys' cooperation, your understanding, and again, I know it's emotional and it's dragging up a lot of bad memories.
Yeah,
so
too hard.
I appreciate it, and hopefully you guys try and have a better day. And like I said, maybe just talk to your daughter, let her know that you might need to either we explain more or.
Right.
It's just something that we pray for and just leave it at that.
Right, because that's all I knew. TT's little.
Yes, when Donald Trump said that gas was $1.98, the cheapest station, or the cheapest state was Texas at $2.66. Mississippi had 268.
Baby was in the box.
But I honestly think that people around him lie all the time. You remember when he looked at Stephen Himmler and was like, "What was that case? Did we win it 9-0?" And they're like, "Yeah, we won. We won the Supreme Court case 9-0."
Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a good. Hi. All right. Thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. No worries. All right. I'm gonna give him a call back.
A Johnny Somali lookalike arrested at airport. Surely he wasn't arrested for looking like Johnny Somali. That's gotta be something else. I would hope. Jesus Christ. We'll see. You never can tell. We have this. This is a new thing going viral. They're calling her the Delco Deucer. Okay? The Delco Deucer. Yeah, that's what it is. It's severe TDS when he fucking lies, and I'm like, yeah, he lied. That's what it is. You stupid motherfuckers. He didn't lie. He was exaggerating with the truth. The Delco Deucer.
The Delco Deucer, the Delco Pooper, or the Hawk Pua. She has finally been identified by law enforcement. This is Christina Salametto, guys. Stand to Lynn.
This woman had taken so much shit at some point during the day. She gets out of her car, runs over to another person's car, pulls her shorts to the side, and shits diarrhea all over the person's hood and grill. How do you push somebody? How do you push somebody this far?
Because I've got the video for you to see, but here's the story. Christina was arrested on Thursday after she pooped on the hood of someone else's car in a road rage incident. She said that the person called her a fat witch and that it made her very angry, and she wanted to, but that she decided just to poop on their hood instead. And here she is, Christina Salametto. In the police report, it says that she actually bragged that it was a clean poop and she didn't even have to wipe. Now, these are two different photos, but here she is.
She claimed it was such a clean poop she didn't even have to wipe.
It looks like she has on some Depends underwear. She is facing multiple charges: indecent exposure, disorderly conduct, criminal mischief, and depositing waste on a highway. And there are literally t-shirts being made for the Delco Deucer or the Delco Pooper or Hawk Pua. It's my personal favorite. Okay, here's the video.
Right here. She's doing it right now. You see it, chat? It's happening right in front of your eyes. You would have missed it, wouldn't you? I'll take the zoomed in part away, but here you go.
On a highway. And they're literally...
There's the merch. The Delco Deucer leaving her mark on the world.
For the Delco Deucer or the Delco Pooper or Hawk Pua. It's my personal favorite. Okay, here's the video.
Then she gets back in her car and fucking leaves. Somebody need an attitude adjustment. Who were we watching the other day? Scott Rogers, right? He said that he went to the hospital and they had to lance another one of his staph infections open, and when he woke up, he had shit on himself or something. She's done it before. I don't know that I could aim that good. I just don't have the practice. It's muscle memory, I think.
Mr. Chairman, where's Kevin Kiley? I'm a little worried about him. We've been going since 2 o'clock. I think we've had, Mr. Raskin, you could help me, probably 10 amendment votes. More? How many amendment votes have we had, guys? 15? Now, Mr. Chairman, your members have not spoken on anything, and we can take their silence as an admission that it's wrong to deport U.S. citizens and it's wrong to deport kids with cancer. But Mr. Kiley has missed every single vote that we've taken, and I think it's fair to do a welfare check on Mr. Kiley. He's tweeting. He's been tweeting during this hearing, but he's not voting. So I just, for the good of the committee, where's Kevin? Does anyone on your side know? Have you seen him?
Is he in the room?
Is he in the room? Just a wave or like a hey? Proof of life for Kevin Kiley, because these are pretty important votes. Deporting U.S. citizens, firing veterans, deporting kids with cancer.
He's just not there. Wow.
That my neighbor to the north would want to be here, but he hasn't voted on any of this. So if anyone has seen Kevin Kiley, hey, just tell him there's a hearing going on and his constituents want to know how he would vote on any of this. Mr. Chairman, I did earlier note that our colleague, Mr. Kiley, was not present during any of the votes, and he's here now, and I think that's important. And because I did call him out, it's only fair if I ask him how he would have voted on the votes he missed. And so I would like to know, Mr. Kiley, if you would like to tell us how you would have voted on banning the deportation of U.S. citizens. I think your constituents should know how you would have voted on that. We also voted on prohibiting the hiring of January 6 rioters. Mr. Kiley, you weren't here for that vote, and now I'm offering you the opportunity to speak. I'd yield to you on that. Mr. Kiley, we also voted and discussed whether the DOJ should be able to fire veterans. And if you want to stand up for your veterans in your district, I would yield to you right now to stand up for the veterans in your district. We also talked about whether kids with cancer who are U.S. citizens, particularly a 4-year-old who was recently deported, should have been deported. And Mr. Kiley, again, you're here now. You didn't vote on anything related to that, but I would yield to you. And if you don't want to discuss this, I understand, but we would just take it as an admission that you support all of that. And I think that's how your constituents would interpret that.
Talk about being put on blast. Talk about being put on blast. I'm trying to find, I wanted to tell you guys about this story. Do you guys remember, Sasha Stone? Do you guys remember Sasha? He used to run around with Scott McKay, right? Let's look on here. Maybe there's a video on him. Used to run with Scott McKay. He did the whole grifting tour. He's like a crazy, hippie, intellectual guy. Damn, he's looking rough.
I am leaving Southern Africa tomorrow, headed back.
He basically came from money. His parents had money, so he runs around and pretends to be like a fucking guru on all these weird things. He's a grifter. He sells a bunch of stuff to stop radiation and blocking and blah, blah, blah. He's like the knockoff Temu, QAnon, Russell Brand, basically.
To the United States for the second leg of the Revelations social tour that I began a couple of months.
Yeah, we were watching it and he was talking about all these weird sex stuff with like a 90-some-year-old lady. I forgot that video existed. You're right.
Take me all the way through to 21st of June, Midsummer's Day in Tennessee, where we consecrate the New Earth Sanctuary.
What did he just say?
I began a couple of months back, and that'll take me all the way through to 21st of June, Midsummer's Day in Tennessee, where we consecrate the New Earth Sanctuary in the United States. Very excited about that. Just to let you know,
the New Earth Sanctuary in Tennessee.
The dates as I.
Chat, I'm happy to announce my new neighbor, Sasha Stone, and the New Earth Nation cults. Okay? Sasha Stone and the New Earth Nation cults. Well, we gotta get through an ad.
A controversial property purchase in Hawkins County. A 68.
This is not that close. It's probably 30. It's probably like 40 minutes away.
Property in Stanley Valley could be the site of what's known as a sovereign micronation called New Earth. Our News 5's Liam Bridgman went to the property today to speak with neighbors and a representative of New Earth.
He said so many weird things about this place where they're going to live, including that no local, state, or federal law enforcement would be allowed on this property they purchased. It's like 65 acres. And that if someone shows up to try to enforce the law, that you could take them to the center of the commune and tie them to a post and whip them. Just like weird shit about it.
Residents here in Hawkins County have been in an uproar over this property, what's proposed to be on this property, and the group that purchased it. According to the deed, the property in Stanley Valley was purchased by New Earth Nation Coalition, a group hoping to establish what they call a sovereign micro.
Look at this picture.
Nation right here in Hawkins.
Now he's selling golden tickets for this property, and I think there are 10,000 tickets. Hold on. It's called a micronation, and it's called newearthgoldenticket.com. I think they said there's 10,000 tickets, and how much were they a piece? $1,000? I'm sorry, $10,000. $10,000. Maybe there's 1,000 of them for $10,000. Maybe that was it.
County.
We're setting up communities where people who are working and discovering their soul's journey, their soul path, their soul purpose, and looking to find that divinity and bring it as an expression of a community.
Marcia Willardson is the trustee of the New Earth Project in Tennessee. She says the coalition hopes this project will be the first of many across the nation, and they look to begin with 7 to 10 people and their families. But Hawkins County Commissioner Sybil Von Trent has concerns.
The literature that I have says they're going to bring in initially 200 to 300 people. Well, this property will not accommodate 200 or 300 people.
According to the group's website, they're led by founder of New Earth, Sasha Stone, and
there he is,
selling golden tickets at $10,000 a piece to be a part of the nation. Neighbors Wayne and Mary Ellen Field have reservations.
You don't know who these people are or where they're coming from.
And we came from Maryland, retiring down here. They're hoping to have a nice, peaceful retirement.
They might have MS-13 tattooed on their knuckles.
And
I bet you he says onion with a G.
This company here bought this property back in.
Representatives with the group told me the project is still very early on in the planning stages, but they do plan to meet on the property for a ceremony in June, and it's open to the public.
I say to the whole...
That's the ceremony he was just talking about. The consecration. What did he call it?
Community, I'd love to see you there. So when you really experience what we're bringing, you can have you will know for sure.
In Hawkins County, Liam Bridgman, News 5, WCYB.
All right, so that's the property he's talking about. Oh, well, let's stop this because it'll keep playing stupid shit. That's what he's talking about right here. He's going to be in Tennessee.
I am leaving Southern Africa tomorrow, headed back to the United States for the second leg of the Revelations social tour that I began a couple of months back, and that'll take me all the way through to 21st of June, Midsummer's Day, in Tennessee, where we consecrate the New Earth Sanctuary in the United States. Very excited about that. Just to let you know the dates as I've been given them by my producer today. Oh, incidentally, I'm in Pretoria, South Africa. I don't know if you can see that view. It's pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular. A wonderful couple of weeks here in Southern Africa and Central Africa. I'm going to be in Melbourne, Florida on April the 27th.
This is the guy that sells USB sticks you carry around in your pockets to block the 5G.
And then I will be on May the 2nd in Miami. Then May the 4th, Fort Lauderdale. May 9th to the 11th, San Rafael in California. Is that California? Yes, it is. That's the New Living Expo with Ken Kaufman. Then May 20th, Asheville, NC. I don't know what NC means, but I'm just reading off my notes. May 26th.
You don't know what NC means? Asheville, NC. I don't know what NC means. What a patriot.
22nd, Charlottesville, I think that's Virginia, and I do believe that Dr. David Markham will be joining me again. I very much hope that's the case because that's his backyard, and that's kind of why I'm passing through Charlottesville. May the 24th, Central PA. I'm not sure what that means, but you guys in America will know what that means. May the 31st, Manhattan. Yes. Ooh. Now this is my first return to New York for 17 years, 18 years since the United Nations Director General, IGO time in my life. Going back 2008, 2009, 2010. Wow. Okay, so first time back for a long, long time for me in New York, and I'm wondering what the turnout's going to be like there. That's going to be fun. June, and that's May the 31st in Manhattan. June the 3rd, Long Island.
I'm sorry, is somebody holding you against your fucking will? Leave, bitch. Everybody in the chat knows who this is, except for you.
Greatly looking forward to that. June the 6th, Martha's Vineyard. So going right into the Illuminati enclaves of the liberal intellectual.
That's it, North Korea.
Constituency. Well, let's see how that plays out. I'm actually very much looking forward to that. And then June 14th to the 19th, I'll be doing a retreat in Tennessee, and this is leading up to the consecration proclamation event of the New Earth. Very exciting retreat, and I'll be announcing that and the roster or the schedule of that retreat in the next few days as soon as I land in the US. And June 21st, of course, is going to be the New Earth. 20th and 21st, actually, is going to be the 2-day ceremonial consecration and proclamation event of by comparison. And also I'll do an update on where we're at in Southeast Bitch. Hope I'm back on. Yes, I am back on. So that's it, friends. That's the Revelations tour lineup so far. If you can make it, please do me a favor and try to lean in and help and share.
Just randomly fucking froze? Oh, there it is.
On a kind of innocuous post, you know, and then the next post I do, which actually is an important one, which mentions a deadline or a venue or a time, and the data mining algorithms can scan that stuff and see it. So boom, 95% of my own network and media on social media can't see those kinds. So it's very clever shit. I must say, very, very clever the way that it's been orchestrated. This, what do they call it?
I used to accidentally cover him all the time back in the day when he ran around with Scott McKay and we were covering grifters. He's fucking out there.
But how they blindside you on social media is incredibly clever technology. But it's proving to be a bit of a bitch for me on when I'm touring. So I do rely on my own community, such as it exists, to springboard and share as widely as possible. Thank you, friends. And I will print up on the posting the date lines. And for the tour, all my touring is free. I don't charge. The date in Miami is Dr. Charlie.
He's a Trump supporter, QAnon, conspiracy. He's a wild guy.
Awards gig at the Trump Doral. So that is a paid event, but that's through Charlie's platform, not mine. All the other dates are my tour dates, and they are free, okay? And so if you want to reserve tickets for friends and family, you have to contact tour@sashastone.com and just put in the
0 of 17 now, thanks.
amount of seats that you want reserved and your name, and you will be RSVP'd, okay? That's how it rolls with me. Thanks, friends. Much love. Hope to see you on the road. Bye.
I didn't know that he had a TikTok account. But yeah, he's pretty crazy. He ran around with, you guys know Scott McKay, the guy that carries around the hatchet that's been in all kinds of fucking anti-Semitic, this, that. He was even mentioned with like speaking events that some of the Trump sons were going to be at. So he got mentioned on national media that way. That's where he comes from. Charlie Ward, Sasha Stone, Scott McKay. What's Simon Parks? Simon Parks is the guy that's QAnon guy that thinks he had sex with an alien in his dream and he has an alien daughter. He's got like 19 cats and his wife left him. Like Sasha Stone's fucking pretty wild. The Lazarus Initiative is his website. He's a pretty crazy guy. We haven't covered him in years because I don't know. I guess we haven't really covered Scott McKay. Scott McKay on TikTok. The one where Scott McKay can't ride a bike, but fucking Sasha Stone, who's never rode a bike before, can. Patriot Full Throttle Truth Hammer.
Channel, tacticalcivics.com, 11-minute video. Their conversion rate has been historically over time 1 out of 200. It's 1 out of 3 and has been that for the last 4 months. 1 out of 3, boom, I'm in. And so the purpose for me is that you mentioned the word earlier, activation. We have the Great Awakening, no doubt. Now we need the Great Activation.
These guys made millions. Scott McKay went from being like a washed up old bodybuilder who sold solar panels to buying like fucking a couple 100 acres right outside of like Dallas, Fort Worth, and building like this private farm on it and shit, traveling the world. He's got a fucking tour bus with his picture on it and shit. Like this QAnon grip, people will study this in the future. How these QAnon grifters came from like nothing just because they said what people wanted to hear and fed into this soap opera that people wanted to listen to about Trump being secretly president, controlling the military and installed, and Joe Biden executed at Gitmo. People gave him millions of dollars to run around and just do stupid shit.
And that's what I'm trying to sell.
Robert David Steele, he's dead as fuck, yeah.
Truth. As us being very powerful beings who've been weakened by the same methodology that this woman just laid out. We are so powerful against them, they have to create this entire strata of attacks on humanity because they have got to weaken us because they cannot win against us in pure form. They can't win against us. They got to use all these cowards.
Yeah, all I could hear
to chisel away at us.
The only sound I could hear was a walrus being stabbed to death, or whatever the fuck he says.
They cannot come out in the street mono a mono. It's over instantly because of our power, not just of our numbers. The spiritual core of what we were created to be. So that shows you how afraid they are. And my belief is that as these numbers continue,
this guy's a former Navy SEAL.
Explode, Ann Manderson.
Down here at the bottom.
I got her into the wind tunnel when she approached me 3 months ago about arresting people on the border. I'm like, if you're going to do this, and you need to do it constitutionally. And I gave her the wind tunnel, Tactical 6 wind tunnel. I was like, okay, I got it, Scott. I just signed up. I'm on the site. I'm all in, right? So
he sent some lady to the Texas border to do constitutional citizens arrests on illegal immigrants.
She unleashed.
Sounds like it'll work out good.
And now it's just told me yesterday she's got Mike Lindell dialed in, and Lindell's already presented this tactical civics movement to Trump. So because I said you got to, if Mike's got to get the mogul on it.
Oh, he also is having a falling out with see this down here where it says TerraQuantumRecharge.com. That's their frequency and vibrational healing center in Dallas. And he went into that with a bunch of other grifters, and then they kicked him out. He's no longer a part of that, and he's suing them.
He has. So we'll see what happens. But this is my belief. This doesn't have to be. Look, we're staged for massive chaos and murder by the terrorist cells who are being trained by our military at installations to unleash on us. Rogue military. It's here. It's going to happen. Here's how I see it. Do I think that I want all 3,400 counties populated by this time next year? 3,400 counties, and I'm focused on the military. Guys, remember your oath. You need to get involved in tactical civics because these are only backed up by a certified standing militia. I'm being told back up from that word. I ain't fucking backing up from. I don't care what the FBI's condition people be. I don't fucking care. The founders put this in as the enforcement arm to carry out when they will not. They can serve indictments, make arrests. If they won't vacate the courthouse, get a prison or an investigation.
Yeah, they are in. I think I found this on his. He used to have. He's suing them. He no longer mentions that. They've stopped all of the. They've stopped all the mentioning of it, and they're in a lawsuit over the Terra Quantum Recharge. They had something on their website at one time. Oh, here he is talking to Sasha about the New Earth Golden Ticket. I wonder if they mention it pretty quick, so I don't have to watch much of it.
The fastest metabolism of my life in 30 seconds with this NASA-approved ice trick.
Doug Kuzma's out of here.
Big questions I get all the time is, Candace, what is your skincare routine? And I have to tell you how seriously I take it, that we...
There it is, the New Earth Golden Ticket. That's where they're moving in down the road from me.
Scott McKay's kitchen, prepare eggs and bacon for him and fried tomatoes, fried toast, 3 coffees in a row, fresh juices, give him his supplements and all the rest of it. Once I attended to that, I hightailed it over here to do technical spec, and Ellie and I just managed to get everything set up. Tess and Scott. Scott number 2. We have 2 Scotts in the house. Scott number 2, who's with Tess. We've set up essentially the most insane guerrilla-style live stream rig. We have a 7 camera setup, and I don't know how this is going to play forward. We're going to have fun. I'm blind to the studio. For the first time in my broadcasting career, I don't actually have any control of the studio. All I have is one camera, and I have a wonderful live audience here. Okay. So I have to do a presentation on the big screen here. We're a big screen in this room. Then the broadcast. So I followed my.
I wonder what he says about it.
Trump and all of that stuff that we've seen playing out in the last year. Actually,
I'm kind of interested. This cold is moving in beside me, so.
Is collapsing. But you're right. We've arrived at this extraordinary point where every single one of us, we're all.
That's right, Doug.
We know that, do we not?
Good for you, buddy.
This is not.
How's the mothership?
Kingdom Come. I think it's a suitable title to begin.
So Scott might be part of this too, dude. Do you think Scott McKay is going to be there at the christening or whatever they're calling it?
This is going to move very quickly. This conversation, okay? And what I'm trying to do deliberately is to scramble the hemispheres. I want to move very quickly into a conversation which should throw things upside down and somewhat inside out. Let's go. I played with AI in the last week. First time I've ever done it, because I'm one of those old-fashioned people. I don't like the idea. But I thought, okay, let's go there. I'm not afraid of anything.
You got it. That's exactly what it looks like in Hawkins County, Tennessee. I can tell you got it right. Nailed it.
Well, let's go there. Do you know what I did? I typed in Yahweh, Jehovah, and I asked for AI to represent or depict an image of Jehovah. This is what came up. That's the image that came up of Yahweh. I asked for the beast of the sea. For those of you who know enough about your biblical prophecy, you'll know what the priest bankers, the Khazarians, soul, all emerges.
Oh, he typed in the Khazarians, codenamed Jews.
The transactions, the monetizing and securitizing, the priest bankers, beast of the sea. The Phoenicians, the Venetians, the black nobility, the priest bankers, the Khazarians, all emerges. The transactions, the monetizing and securitizing of human beings, the collateralizing of human soul, mass sacrifice of innocence, harvest of humanity. And they set forth, did they not, upon the waters, deploying their admiralty law, maritime law, mercantile law, commerce, laws of commerce. Again, turning life into money and time. Turning time into money. Big mistake. Huge mistake. Epochal mistake. The Dutch East India Company and the British East India Company, arguably the very worst of them. The Portuguese were pretty nasty as well, so were the Spanish. They went forth and they conquered the world. They butchered the black skin, brown skin, red skin, yellow skin peoples of the world. And soon we, okay? Don't forget that. Not if you
I just want to see what he says about what they're going to be doing in Tennessee.
Dimensional, subdimensional, interdimensional.
Uh-oh, USAID.
Taken over. Many humans. To depict every single human soul on Earth. Whatever. Isn't that interesting? When I kept doing the same data input. Now, I had many data inputs up to this point, and then it became a UFO. And it ended up bifurcating off the surface of the earth altogether. So who or what is Yahweh? Who or what is Jehovah? Who or what is the false light God that we've been worshipping in our monotheistic religious faiths, which have not been grounded or anchored in
the false light God.
As a little skull with serpents. Second, and so our autonomous trustees.
God, you guys remember Negative 48 before he died in a motorcycle accident?
And the planets that we invest
that guy was wild. That's the guy that led the group. That's the guy that led the group in Dallas to welcome JFK Jr. back and JFK Sr. in Dallas.
They're completely harmonious. The fork in the road. So this is the conversation that we're having here today. We're old enough to know that. I'm going to say shamanic journey. It's the rite of passage into our next evolution. We're all met with it. It could be a car accident. It could be the loss of a beloved and the grief and the bereavement, right? You know what I'm saying? We've all felt that. We are torn into two. And where do we go? How do we take our journey forward? Do we move further into grief? Do we become more stricken? Do we become more sorrowful, entropic, sad? Do we allow life to slowly pull us toward gravity? Or do we take every single thing that happened, consult Wikipedia to find out who I am, incidentally? I've long since forgotten who I am. But Wikipedia reminds me.
He is marketing the 5G BioShield, a fake anti-radiation protection device. He's also known for founding the International Tribunal for Natural Justice, the New Earth Project, the New Earth Festival, which he hosts at his private resort, Akasha New Earth Haven.
I'm a fraudster. Well, the nearest thing to it, a new age influencer. A conspiracy theorist, well, that goes without saying. Marketing fake products. Okay, curious. Known for founding the International Tribunal for Natural Justice.
Why didn't you just say 5G BioShield?
So basically, Wikipedia, the status quo, just takes a piss all over me and my life's work. 25 years of life in service. That's fine. Oh, and throw in anti-Semitic. I'm anti-Semite as well, apparently.
Stone posits that humanity is ruled by the hidden masters, which he refers to as Illuminati, the Babylonian blood cult, Luciferians, and Sabbatians? Sabbatians.
I don't know where that came from, but that means I'm flagged by the ADL, Anti-Defamation League, so I go up on a security screen now, okay?
Sabbatian, Zionist, Lurian, Kabbalists behind the veil.
This is how they do it, right? I go to temple from time to time with my Jewish friends, incidentally, and read from them from the good book, as I do in other denominations. I'm also told who I am through fake videos that are doing the rounds of me. Hello, Tara, if I don't love you, I won't want to marry you, so please don't call me a scammer no more. It's me, Sasha Stone. Have a lovely night.
Everybody has fake videos of them. If you're big enough to scam somebody, you got fake videos, dude.
Okay, and text me on my cell number if you wish to talk to me. Really. And so I herself with grief because she'd had a long relationship with me. And she'd sent those deep fake videos, giving phone numbers, having conversations. I spoke to her last week who was beside herself with grief because she'd had a long relationship with me. And she'd...
Some old lady was sexting Sasha Stone And it was really some guy in fucking Kenya or some shit.
It's actually very serious stuff. It's really serious. Working people.
Very serious.
Personality of people. Well, I want to let you know that this is just a private page in which I use the medium to get in touch with my big fans like you, because I've been watching your post likes and comments on my official fans page. If some of my fans are aware of this profile, they will keep sending me a message so not to cause internet propaganda. I want you to promise me you won't make this page public to the media or anyone. So how do you counter that stuff? You tell me, because I'd love to know. We found out which division of the British.
It's funny because all they had to do was buy a leather vest and then use face swap. Just a leather vest.
Intelligence, military intelligence were doing this. Okay, so it wasn't difficult for us. You tell me.
Military intelligence.
Which division of the British intelligence, military intelligence were doing this?
The British military intelligence is doing this to him.
Okay, so it wasn't difficult for us to find out where it came from. But thousands of these videos, they've just been generated and sent to thousands of people, and it creates havoc. Hi kids, it's another beautiful day. Please beware of fake Sasha account. My account is official_Sasha_Stone. All my fans should be vigilant.
Look, all they have is a leather vest.
Every fake account you can see. I mean, that's clever, isn't it? So they actually have a fake me, talking about the fake me's and creating funnels to take people's attention. So in any event, I'm a little bit confused about who I am. I'm big day, and I ran in the other direction. Okay, that's all I'll say to that. For the purpose of this, I set up my Peace Foundation in 1999. That's 25 years ago, long time. And I started my own citizen diplomacy because I was looking for the man. I wanted to find the man. And I went and met with political leaders, religious, having horrible things happen to me. Really horrible things happen to me in that insane mission, wonderful things. I've lived in so many parts of the world with so many different types of people. Nations, I refused by a part of the basement, and I was assured by those.
He would basically, his parents had money, so he was kind of like a clinger.
Inveigling me into the UN that they would help me do so. Because I always regard the United Nations as an 10, 15 years and create a quantum technology revolution.
I don't know what tour Derek's on right. Derek Johnson. I don't know what tour he's on right now. Do you?
About how we were doing that. That was the last day at the UN, and we pulled out so close to succeeding, and then we came so close to getting a bullet in the brain. That was the last day at the UN. We almost succeeded. We came so close to revolution. I can't talk about a $5 billion fund in order to thwart the oil and gas barons and create a quantum technology revolution.
Quantum technology. That's always in there. But he was going to do. He was going to get rid of oil and gas and do a quantum technology revolution. But then they were going to kill him.
Talk about how we were doing that. It was an initiative that I created.
And he can't talk about it.
Almost succeeded. We came so close to succeeding, and then we came so close to getting a bullet in the brain. That was the last day at the UN.
He basically has to keep doing this. This is his income, right?
And we pulled out. David and I. Okay. He and I did a talk about 2 weeks ago in Utah, the first time since the United Nations days, and we spoke about what went down for the first time. Thank you. Sorry about that if that disturbed the broadcast. Ukraine, Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko was being assassinated, poisoned behind bars, and asked my foundation to rescue. The president should intervene. Actually, that's just very polite. She died in Ukraine, so I was the only person who never got in, but my law commission did, and we pulled that little scoop. I'm so sorry, but I need to ask you to keep. Thank you so much. Address to international leadership in 2012. That was my son. Guys, there you can see.
I'm skipping through shit right now, but
he passed away a few weeks ago, finally. But this was 11 years ago. To the palace in Shirabon, met with him, and was first frisked, debriefed by the CIA operatives who were at the hotel, and they took me to the palace. And very interesting story.
Of course.
And parliamentarians in that part of the world. You see, the European NATO forces were trying to hack their way through Lithuania into Russia to create a backdoor into Russia, just like they've been trying to do through Zelensky and the Ukraine. Again, they would
make sense.
Create a backdoor to Russia, and all that stuff. And I'm not going to go into the story right now or how I recovered, which is such a beautiful story. 3 months into this, I recovered. Such an incredibly uplifting story, but I don't have the time to give to microwave weapon. I ignored his advice and went on the following day to a speaking tour in Scandinavia, and 3 days later I was poisoned in Oslo by a microwave weapon, and that was.
That's not his body. I don't care what he says. That's not his body. Why does it have a C-section scar?
2016, so 9 years ago, okay? Long before we were talking about 5G and all that stuff. And I'm not going to go into
I've been burnt by a microwave dish before.
The story right now, or how I recovered, which is such a, take my word for it, it was a beautiful angelic intervention in that sense. What I can say is that
the angels healed him.
If I don't care about that stuff, I'm simply inquiring as to what presents
the 5G apocalypse.
I am intimate with a Guichet.
It changes your DNA, guys. That's why they have to have so many towers.
Very talented age of that game.
I had to look it up, Ripley.
Weapons expert.
There's what he sells. There's what he sells. It is a USB stick, and literally people have bought this item. The only thing in it is a buck converter to run an LED. So basically, they just, no matter where you plug it in at, it'll send power to run an LED. So Russell Brand recently started selling this as well, and a bunch of people did videos on it. Let me see if I can find those videos. I know I saw somebody do a video on it. Russell Brand has a new grift. Is this it?
Former comedian and Hollywood star Russell Brand.
Play, you bitch.
Brand himself as a born-again Christian, although he might be Catholic because he's uploaded videos where he's praying the rosary. Anyway,
yes,
it now seems he might be struggling for cash these days.
Hello, I'm just back from Narnia, where I had a holiday, Mr. Tumnus, Aslan, all those guys. And as you know, airports are places full of Wi-Fi and all sorts of evil energies. Think of all the phones out there, all of the signals, corruptible and corrupting. Luckily, I wear this magical amulet from AirTech that keeps me...
His Russell Brand's version is a magical amulet that keeps you safe.
The various signals out there. And also means, look at this. Look how strong I am. I think this is making me more powerful, as a matter of fact. Look at that. This stuff is absolutely packed with AirTech. I didn't even bring any socks or toothbrush or dog meat or anything like that. Just completely full of AirTech. You should get one as well, particularly if you're planning to go to an airport anytime soon, because the bloody things are full of lethal signals. AirTech, a glorious amulet to protect you from...
They even claim you don't even have to have it plugged in. Like, you plug it in when you're home, and it gives you like a bigger protection shield, but then you just carry it around your pocket when you're not home. Here's somebody saying, don't buy this. Let's see.
I've just wasted $450 on one of the most elaborate scams in existence, and for some reason the UK government was promoting it. 5G, you've heard about it 1,000 times already. You might love it. It's being used by the military to stop them. But fear not, the 5G BioShield is here to...
There it is. That's what they're selling.
Using none other than proprietary holographic nanolayer catalyst technology.
Holographic nanolayer catalyst technology.
I'm sorry, what? Proprietary holographic nanolayer catalyst. It sounds a bit like someone's just jumped to random pages of a chemistry textbook and picked the first words they saw. But I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I spent a full day, in fact, reading through everything this website had to say. They say that in our modern world, we're surrounded by EMF, or electromagnetic fields. And this is true. There are electromagnetic fields everywhere. Everything from your smartphone to your microwave contributes to this. But that's pretty much the only correct piece of science on the entire website. They go on to say that 5G makes these fields much stronger, to the point where they're dangerous, and that you need to use their product to shield yourself. So the way this apparently works is, you plug it into your computer, and it creates a 40-meter force field around you. And if that doesn't already sound ridiculous enough,
$450, yes.
They claim that even without power, even if you're just carrying this in your bag with you,
again, even without power, you carry it in your pocket and it gives you just a smaller shield.
It can still create a permanently protective, and I quote, plasmic shield of 8 meters. Now, where have I heard of plasmic shields before? Oh yeah, Star Wars. The shield apparently uses, can't even make this stuff up, quantum oscillation to restore the coherence of atoms and emit life force frequencies. The Force. Star Wars. I feel like a link is forming. And it was at around this point that I thought, for goodness sake, I've got to try it. I've got to make 100% sure that this is in fact the pile of garbage that it looks like. So I ordered one. And the purchase process was...
It's almost like all these grifters only exist because, like, if there weren't 5G grifters, right, that are scaring people to death about 5G, then there wouldn't be people that were around to fucking sell blockers. Right.
About as shady as the science behind it. It's listed at £283, but the second you add it to the cart, you quickly realise they're going to add sales tax on top of that. Companies don't usually do that in the UK. And when you factor in the additional £12 shipping fee, this ends up at £351.60. And of course, the only way to pay is a direct bank transfer, which has zero payment protection. So I stomached it. I thought, this is £350.
Can't use a credit card, can't use any debit card, direct transfer that you cannot recall.
Not expected to see again. But a sub to the channel would be amazing. Miracles do happen. 2 weeks later, a little package dropped through the door. I picked it up. I immediately knew what it was. I sprinted to the studio, ripped open the box, and smashed it into my computer. Wow! This is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And thanks to quantum nanoparticle electroforcism, you can get the effects just by watching through your screen. You're welcome. Okay, no. It is exactly what it looks like. This is a USB stick. And in fact, the only surprise I had here was the fact that its total capacity maxes out at 120 megabytes. They've even been so kind as to drop a full 25-page document on there, which includes a before and after health summary from people who've been using the Shield.
A 25-page document on there that shows you how it works.
It says that most users report reverse aging by 18 years. So according to that, I'm about to turn 7. It makes these definitely real reviews of the product a little suspect. I'm thrilled by the science on which basis the device has been created. I'm not a physicist, you don't say. But I understand partially with my intuition. Daniela says, the people I work with seem to be more happy and laugh more. This I could believe. And this one's my favorite. The item you have created is not only ingenious, but exquisitely beautiful in design. All of this speaks to me about the people you are, so I want you to know that I appreciate you as well as what you're doing, namely contributing towards a new heaven on earth. Right.
So there you go. Anyways, let's get back to, I want to see what he's doing in Tennessee.
And we ended up designing and developing the 5G bioshield, state-of-the-art particle physics, plasma physics, put it out, sold millions and millions of dollars worth of this product, which was an incredible product, best in class. And Scotland Yard and the Crown came after the company and closed us down, putting us under suspicion of fraud and under criminal investigation, effectively threats of that, syndicating articles through News International. What the fuck can the little guy do? They literally took down our entire operation. And then, of course, the Trading Standards Authority investigated.
He was trying to save people's lives. The government took him down.
Banks close your bank accounts and freeze your money. You can't even hire a lawyer. Nice gig, huh? Nice. That's how they do it.
I never knew that he was like an owner of the company. I knew they all sold it, including Scott McKay.
When they come after you, they close everything down. You don't even have oxygen to breathe. Run, baby, run. They're coming for you. We thwarted them. We thwarted that by calling for a clinical trial. And I got a very powerful PR crisis genius, guru, to issue a press release to Scotland Yard and to the BBC. And tell them, send your reporters and your investigators, your criminal investigators, to Neuchâtel in Switzerland. We're putting on a clinical study, 20 random people off the streets. We said we can even bring your reporters in. And they were very successful clinical studies using state-of-the-art blood microscopy and so on. And because of that, they had to drop all investigative charges and all investigations. So nothing happened, but they really collapsed the company. Did you get it? Then it turns out that the BBC and Ofcom are connected into a multi-billion-dollar 5G thing. It was all connected to money and commerce. So they wanted to take down the little rascal who started conflating the story through the 5G apocalypse film. But I say again, it was the grace of God. I'd been attacked physically. I wanted a remedy. I studied the remedy. I have access to the top scientists in the world and top political people. So I did. I researched it, made the film, put the film out. It went viral. Let me tell you guys something. When Donald Trump came to meet the Queen of England in his first...
The device was recommended in a report published by Glastonbury Town Council. Town Councilor Toby R. Hall stated that the device could be helpful and provide protection due to wearable holographic nano-layer catalyst. An analysis by Penn Test Partners, however, concluded that this device was nothing more than a 128 megabyte capacity generic USB thumb drive that can literally be bought in bulk from anywhere for pennies on the dollar. Okay? The security firm concluded that the device should not be promoted by publicly funded bodies. Following this report, the device was investigated by Trading Standards and found to be a scam, and the matter has been referred to the City of London Police Fraud Squad. I think when he's lying 100% about this clinical study. It's Scandinavia, blah, 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 whatever, right?
State visit a few years ago. His highest ranking Supreme Command head of intelligence came to visit me with a security detail at my home whilst he was with the Queen. No joke. Spent a couple of hours with me.
Let's talk about Tennessee before I gotta go.
And I wanted to get that to the world. I wanted to talk about the importance of that. Stephen agreed to it. We made the film, and then he asked me not to release the film, and I had to.
Is that Steven Seagal?
Emissary Americans. We were Stephen Seagal, a good friend, he was just with me a few weeks ago at my place in Bali doing a ceremony there with the Native Americans. We were bridging east and west. But this was in 2018 in Thailand. Putin had just made Stephen a special.
There's Robert David Steele. He died of COVID.
Emissary. And I wanted to get that to the world.
They dumped his ass so quick, too.
So that Stephen agreed to it. We made the film, and then he asked me not to release the film, and I had to. Special emissary. And I wanted to get that to the world. I wanted to talk about the importance of that. Stephen agreed to it. Just made. God love the man. Pompous oath. Love him. Miss him. And Stephen Seagal, a good friend, he was just with me a few weeks ago at my place in Bali doing a ceremony there with the Native Americans. We were bridging east and west. But this was in 2018 in Thailand. Putin had just made Stephen a special emissary. And I wanted to get that to the world. I wanted to talk about the importance of that.
Very important. Putin making it Steven Seagal a special emissary.
Big. Stephen agreed to it. We made the film, and then he asked me not to release the film, and I had to accept that. I was very upset. But in 2018, we launched the human trafficking and child sex abuse seedings in Westminster in London, and began tearing the mask off that story, which has now become the biggest story in the basement, right? And that was instead.
This is a made-up council where they did a tribunal of made-up charges against made-up accusations and made-up victims. They just did this.
The reason why that Supreme Command off Unstoppable. Very, very particular. Honorable David Kilgore on corners. My job.
Some very sovereign citizenship.
Hereditary redemption is becoming to white screens of state to try to the globe and Rothschilds and all the rest of it.
The white hats.
The man who's most responsible for taking down the Cosa Nostra. Fantastic. Place in Bali, New Earth Haven. Some of you know it. Some of you may have been there. We set this up really to prove the elevation of art, beauty, and consciousness is the nuclear buttons. Then that'll be your reality.
God, this is such a cult, dude. Such a cult. Go in, never leave. Chechnya.
It was Kennedy's right hand for many years and the leading light in, and it was 20 weeks before COVID broke out, whatever COVID was. That's Del Bigtree, who was Kennedy's right hand for many years and the leading light in anti-vax movement. Again, 2019, friends, 6 months before the bats in Wuhan did their miraculous work. And we called it out 6 months before. We called it out. We knew it was coming down the pike. There is G. Edward Griffin, Maestro. Let's not forget Jim. Let's never forget Jim. Scott and I will speak. Dr. Robert O. Young giving his witness testimony at our...
It's weird he's only got pictures saying what they did and never like a video, date and timestamps or nothing. That's weird.
Pulling it out years before it became the mainframe. And here we have it. The reign of COVID-19 began, did it not? Michael Tellinger, Bobby Kennedy there, Raynette Seenham, I can't remember, Mickey Willis, many of the great and good voices who then became the real voice of the revolution. 2020. Then we did a 2020.
RFK Jr.'s in here.
Again, online, the World Health Sovereignty Summit, and called out the World Health Organization. Then in 2021, I did, with Bobby Kennedy, I produced Focus on Fauci, the mock trial of Anthony Fauci, calling it all out at that time. It was a 4-hour broadcast with Bobby Kennedy, David Martin, Judy Mikovits, and others.
With the guy that Trump put in charge of your health care.
Again, I backed up, blew the whistle on him, went on. Well, of us who were enjoined in those initiatives and the fight that we've been fighting in the trenches, we're the ones who just changed planetary policy. It wasn't given to us. We did it. Our little voices enjoined in fellowship became the status.
That's terrifying.
By the grace of God. Launched the Lazarus Initiative, and then came the Resurrection Tour, which became the Arise Freedom Tour, when Scott McKay and myself and Lee Dundas peeled off from Robert, who momentarily lost his marbles. God love him. And that's my favorite picture of myself, because it's got Scott McKay sat there. I don't know if he's having a picnic there or what, but he sure as hell looks comfortable. But that was a great day. That was a day I will never forget. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. I can't remember.
I was banned from these. They had pictures from my social media of me and my family, and they called us Antifa-adjacent agitators, and the security had my fucking photo there. How fucking wild is that?
Where it was. It was Sturgis? It was Sturgis. And that brings me really full circle. Thank you. So much bigger international live stream audience.
You being the Sasha across social media. No, we really, I like you now, Mom. It's great to be here. I'm happy that you all turned out today, and all you out there in the, anybody, friend Paul back in the back, we've known each other since about, it's our little voices that made this happen. We overlook the podcast community. They're the ones.
Do they speak about Tennessee at all? Oh, there.
Holistic living nestled right in America's heartland. America's heartland is more than a location; it's a symbol of resilience and unity.
There's nothing on this property, by the way.
Revolutionary way of life that honors nature and champions true sovereignty. For those ready to break free from the ordinary, welcome to the New Earth Tennessee migration. This is your call to action. Picture this a life of true freedom, surrounded by nature.
Retire in 3 months. That's right, Scooter.
Community of pioneers. New Earth Tennessee migration is where sovereignty, sustainability, and community come alive.
Nothing's there. Look at these pictures they're showing. It's a field.
Features: the Regenesis Health Center, groundbreaking organic agriculture, homes crafted.
Groundbreaking organic agriculture.
Sustainable technologies.
The residential homes.
The Regenesis Health Center, groundbreaking organic agriculture, homes crafted.
Here's the homes that everybody's going to be living in for families and couples.
With sacred designs and cutting-edge sustainable technologies for redefining self-sufficiency. We're not just building a community, we're honoring ancient wisdom. By integrating indigenous knowledge, we ensure a respectful and holistic approach to our foundation. Introducing golden tickets.
Look at this picture. It's a cow pasture. An hour from Knoxville, Tennessee.
To this transformative community. Only 1,000 tickets grant you a coveted spot among the Trailblazers.
1,000 tickets for the Trailblazers at $10,000 a piece. Look. Chat, do you think they'll ever build anything like this? Do you think it'll ever look like this? The field that they're going to be living in a tent, I suppose. A yurt.
The Sovereignty Academy admission course, expert-led personal journey to sovereignty in America, Canada, and Australia soon to be expanded.
What is a yurt?
Residents experience a new way of life in a harmonious, regenerative, sovereign jurisdiction. Regenesis clinics access exclusive health and life-changing technologies, anti-aging and detoxification therapies. New Earth Pharmacy products, first in line, access to innovative wellness items. Lazarus Initiative Gold membership, lifetime access, upgrade gift, exclusive opportunities to engage in business, tech, and personal ventures within our sovereign frame. Golden ticket and become part of a movement that's reshaping the future.
So that essentially was what we put out when we launched the initiative tipping into autumn of last year. And it was an invitation to acquire tax deductible golden tickets. We're crowdsourcing this, obviously. And here we have it. We promised at the launch of the Golden Ticket campaign a few months ago. We have delivered on the New Earth Sovereignty Academy that launched in December of last year. And we have purchased our first land holding in Tennessee.
This is such a cash grab, dude. This is such a fucking cash grab. They're raising $10 million. And they bought property in probably one of the lowest priced areas. $10 million.
First, the turnkey development is 60 acres. It's not particularly big, but it's big enough. We're doubling that up presently, and we will expand the project very slowly. We'll take it forward. Ultimately, we'll look to syndicate the program or the template, the blueprint that we're creating. And again, this is Patriot Street Fighter Network confluencing with the New Earth Network. And there's a lot of interplay anyway between the networks. Many of you are the same manifestation. Everything is idolatry. Everything is worshiping information, worshiping images.
No, she is Yakuza.
It's worshiping idols. We have got to become the living technology. I call it the living testament, the living gospel.
We purchased our first land holdings in Tennessee.
The same old cry.
60 acres.
For our lifeline, and check it out. Sign up for it. Best in class.
This isn't even a picture of the land.
Coursework in the world. Christy is Marsha Willitson in the studio.
Yes, she's here.
Delightful. Well, I'm going to Marsha in on the screen so that Scott and I can see her.
Microphone on.
Terrific. Well, we're very happy to see you. Scott is still surfing TikTok, but don't worry about him.
Years ago, I had
make you famous.
Thank you so much.
Very happy to see you.
That was kind of backhanded. Scott's surfing TikTok, but don't worry about him.
But don't worry about him. You have my full undiluted attention. Make you famous.
Thank you so much. I really am excited to be here and to speak.
But you have my full attention.
Academy. You're me a lot. That my spiritual strength, my spiritual being, my soul, my body was
God. By actually, this soil, which was originally heisted, has to be returned totemistically to the First Nation peoples. And incidentally, we're looking at a half Cherokee with the Patriot Street Fighter with Scott here.
They brought Scott McKay in to say that he's half Cherokee. Did they forget we've met Scott's parents? I mean, he killed his dad. We've seen pictures. I have more Indian in me than Scott does. No fucking way, dude.
And a number of you, even in this room, I know, are Cherokee. But you see, that atonement, that is the atonement there. When we return what is stolen, even if it's totemistically back to those that it was stolen from. And we're planning that.
As a token, they're not going to really return it to these people. They're going to say, oh, symbolically, we're returning it back to people like Scott McKay and $10 million.
As the sacrament, this ceremony, the consecration and proclamation event of the New Earth, Tennessee Sanctuary, however you want to coin it, community is going to be enacted on Midsummer's Day, June 20th and 21st of this year. I'll get to that in a moment. The first thing we build on that soil is going to be
This is the first thing they build, chat. This is the first thing they build. They got it.
Because Scott and I are pledging that that'll be.
This is the first thing they build. In the middle of a field.
Ground zero for much of the way that we broadcast to the world. We're going to create a state-of-the-art broadcasting hub. I will have a base there. Scott will have a base there. Many of you out there, looking to the audience, to the live stream audience as well, who have bought your golden tickets and are in line, will be able to live there. I think initially we'll get to the numbers in a moment. But building this state-of-the-art eyeball to the world and hub to the world, a beacon of hope to the world, not just through my broadcasting and Scott's broadcasting and Lazarus broadcasting.
Did they just say Scott and he and Scott are going to live there?
Patriot broadcasting, but
I wonder if Scott McKay knows he's moving in right next to the basketball-headed bitch that made him shut down part of his tour.
Our friends, our influencers, people in the community. This is also going to be a town hall. It'll be an assembly, a town hall. It'll be the living room. It'll be the retreat center. It's going to be the way that we start to engender fellowship and community by first getting land holdings, then consecrating the soil, ceremonial ground first, and then establishing the assembly, the retreat center, the hub of that community, and then obviously building homes, life enhancement centers with the bundling of the incredible technologies that we have access to and microbiology, establishing the
microbiology. They'll be having microbiology there, of course.
Element there through the New Earth University, vertical greenhousing integral to how we move this project forward. I'll speak about hemp in a little while. That connects into what we call true cost economics. Those of you who paid attention to our late friend Robert David Steele know that he was banging that drum before he died. True cost economics. I will elucidate on that in a moment. Vertical greenhousing is vital in certain climes, places that get very cold. If you have free energy technology and regenerative technology solutions, you can then create food production. We are partnered with the world's leading vertical greenhousing folks, and we've already introduced Sky Greens to some of our audience of how we reboot.
This is insane.
Biosphere. Farm and dairy, integral. Seed banking, absolutely integral. Absolutely integral. Obviously, different forms of housing. We've been exploring our own. This is New Earth's own bioarchitecture, which we're planning for our project in Mexico. We finally get construction licenses are being issued shortly. We've had a 2-year wait. It's not been much fun, but that's now speaking to the Irish. I've been waiting for and saying to them, well, you know, I have, what was it, Ireland or Scotland? I can't remember. I think it was Scotland. And he was saying, well, you know, I bought a lot of land here, and I've been waiting for years to build. You guys gave me within 30 days the rubber stamp to be able to build, but the European Union then had to be consulted, and they said it's going to be a 7-year period before the permits get appointed. Can you believe that? So in parts of the world where government intercedes and intervenes, they can just make the rules up as they go along, which they've been doing. And we don't have the right to build anything unless we have full jurisdiction. That's the point. It's about jurisdiction. In any event, bioarchitecture, bioresonance, believe that. So in parts of the world where going to have to be consulted, and they said it's going to be for years to build. You guys gave me within 30 days the rubber stamp to be able to build. He was saying, well, you know, I brought it to the Irish Premier for you. I hear it's a lot worse elsewhere in the world. Okay, we've had a 2-year wait. It's not been much fun, but that's navigating bureaucracy for you. Construction licenses are being issued shortly.
Oh, that's in Mexico.
So in parts of the world where government, that's the place that we are kicking off around
They might not build anything, dude.
New Earth Regenesis, many of our audience know about this. This is the bundling of the years. Partners here. New Earth Regenesis is, but certainly in Tennessee, I think with Sky and Anna here, our partners, I think we're looking at setting up the training
Scott and his wife back together now.
Facility there, as well as having a life.
And it's a beautiful moment, honestly. Especially, I don't think the new pope, if they pick one of the conservative popes, they're not going to agree with divorce. So
inviting many medical professionals in nursing. And
Scott's going to build his new healing center there, I bet. Because he got kicked out of the Terra Quantum Recharge.
To leave the allopathic realms and move into this new naturopathic frequency.
Microbiology.
Technologists there with technologists. Of course, the resurrection to the and preparing the way for it. Just like
I didn't know this is so long, but this is wild.
Proclamation event. Flip the script. And whereas
I'm going to have to watch this when I'm not streaming. Hemp cultivation and processing.
Your stewardship, your land, holding, so to speak. And
but you get a $10,000 credit towards your hereditary land stewardship. Or, for those ready to join our existing land stewards in Tennessee, we have a program. So if you want to join immediately, they're ranging from $50K to $100K, plus your home construction costs, if you want to move there immediately. Right? So the $10,000 ticket is just for the academy, and it goes towards your $50 to $100K that you have to put down, plus your home construction costs if you want to move there. So $10,000 ticket doesn't even get you a spot there.
Cost is obviously above that. We're talking now about how we, the children of God, the sons and daughters of God, the living men and women of the living soil, costs 50 to 100 hereditary land as without anything. We are receiving an apportioned amount of land, soil, in order to do whatever we wish to do, unencumbered, unfettered. Yes, but we call ourselves custodians, hereditary land stewards, and we take forward that new metric. Second opportunity for those, and again, so your golden ticket becomes discharged again strongly into ownership, and instead enter what hereditary land moving forward there.
I want to hear this explanation.
This is it. Opportunity one, the golden tickets that have already financed what we've done, setting up the Sovereignty Academy and the purchase of the land in Tennessee, and now the roll forward in Tennessee. Golden ticket membership is $10,000 USD, as all of you in the live stream know. Membership access to the Sovereignty Academy, a $10,000 credit toward your hereditary land stewardship. So this is the piece. I'm going to invite Marsha in a moment.
So at minimum, it costs you $50K plus whatever it costs to build your home there.
Just to underscore the historical importance of what I just said. When we can relinquish this notion of ownership and instead enter into the fellowship, the diocese.
And still, I don't think you own anything, right? You don't own the land there, and you're building a home that stays there, right? They'll always own the property.
Which is what every micronation is being set up under a diocese, a fellowship. We become custodians of the soil, guardians of the land, stewards.
This is the weird shit they're saying where the cops will have no jurisdiction there.
Hereditary land stewards, meaning to say, you are putting an investment into that community, yes, and it's money or Bitcoin or gold or whatever it is. And in return, you get your hereditary land stewardship, which is yours ad infinitum in perpetuity. You pass that on to your descendants. It's the same thing as ownership, except it's not ownership, because none of us are owning anything moving forward.
One researcher spent 20 years investigating the life.
That's always a scam. They own something, but they're saying none of us will own anything.
Up to 120.
But literally, they own the land. They're saying we're moving beyond ownership. Everybody will have a stewardship that you can pass on, but we're moving beyond ownership. But they own it.
And stewards. And that piece is integral to understand. Because that's where we literally disidentify and disentangle ourselves from the kingdom of the devil. We're not trying to own the soil or the air or anything. We are receiving an apportioned amount of land, soil, in order to do whatever we wish to do, unencumbered.
Breathe heavily in your weed jar. That's right.
Land stewards. And we take forward that new metric. Second opportunity for those. And again, so your golden ticket becomes discharged against or offset against.
But listen, if you're from Scott's community, please CC Scott at newearthgoldticket.com because he probably gets a percentage of however much money he brings in.
Land, holding, and the home that you then have in the community as it expands. And yes, there's a pecking order. First come, first serve in that sense, obviously. Opportunity two, for those ready to join the existing.
I want to give you a warning, Scott and Sasha. I've been through so much training in the military. And I do own a ghillie suit. Do with that information what you will. I just wanted to make you aware.
Hereditary land stewards in Tennessee. Some have been taken in the last week or 2 weeks, but we have programs ranging from 50 to 100K. This is for you to buy your stewardship, your land, so holding, so to speak, and that also home construction cost is obviously above that. We're talking now about how we, the children of God, the sons and daughters of God, the living men and women of the living soil, take repossession of the living soil as stewards, custodians, guardians, but still playing the game of full containment. So there is no overreach by government, federal, municipal, county. There is no overreach, no possibility of that. Ecclesiastical protections, diocese. That's where it's all moving.
This isn't going to fly in Hawkins County. Guaranteed.
We're going to be pushing that blueprint out. So there is contact at newearthgoldenticket.com. Obviously, to all of you looking on the stream, you know that. It's speaking actually just to the aside to the Patriots Street Fighter Network, which is also coming in to this broadcast. You must put Scott at newearthgoldenticket.com. Scott at newearthgoldenticket.com. That's Scott with 2 T's. Scott at newearthgoldenticket.com must be CC.
So he gets paid.
And
there's no other reason to include this forwarding to Scott. Zero. Right? If this is just a community event and all the money's going to this place, there's no reason to attach how you found out about this at all. Zero. Other than Scott getting his percentage.
In the subject line, if you're writing to contact at newearthgoldenticket.com to our team, in the subject line, please put Patriot Street Fighter. That way, we clearly understand who is coming in to the Tennessee Project as a part of Scott's community. Did you want to interject with anything there? I'll cover it. Okay, very good. So moving forward, let me just invite Marsha. I'm not going to bring on the screen here of how it is, why it is that we're claiming jurisdiction of the soil, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and the importance of this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. One of the things that we don't understand in the way that we've been designed to think is we think that we have ownership of things. We think we have ownership of land, for example. So we have a deed that tells us that the land and ownership has been passed to us. But if you look deeper into those documents of ownership, you begin to see that you're considered to be a tenant there, that the paper, the tentacles of this that has surrounded us, that Sasha's talking about, really does not pass ownership, because property that is stolen, number one, still belongs to the owner, no matter how many times it's changed hands in its pretense of ownership. And in the native cultures,
well, Scott's a Cherokee.
It's an insanity to think that we own Earth. It's an insanity to even think that we own the avatar that our spirit occupies. And so what we've designed and what has historical basis is a religious organization called a corporation soul that in the perspective of the Constitution of the United States exercises a separation from church and state as articulated in the Establishment Clause. So
So they're going to claim they're a church.
Jurisdiction is already set by being a religious organization, by taking that spiritual fellowship as we're building this community. And then what we're doing is clearing off all of the grants and all that paperwork and all the tentacles off the land that have been perceived as ownership and passing of ownership. And we're actually even taking it a step further than that with the doctrine of discovery to go back and see where that insanity of thinking that we can claim or discover the land and take it from its inhabitants that has any basis in law. So we're cleaning the tentacles, we're cleaning the paper off of this land, and in that reconsecration, we're bringing ourselves back into that frequency of
and making $10 million, by the way. Minimum. $10 million was just to set up the online academy.
Stewardship that we're designed for originally.
Beautiful. Thank you, Marsha. So the consecration and proclamation ceremony of this hallowed soil, the New Earth Tennessee or Tennessee Trust Project.
It's Arkansas.
Takes place on Midsummer's Day. Actually, the 20th, evening of the 20th, I think about 8:40 p.m., something like that, is the actual solstice in Tennessee. So it's happening on the 20th. But so we're going to have an 8th fire ceremony. Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr., His Majesty King Edmund.
By the way, this guy believes that we've been colonizing Mars for hundreds of years.
Jr. of the Sovereign Kingdom of Hawaii.
There's people living there right now.
Many other hereditary elders and leaders, grandmothers, others will be joining with us whilst we're there. Will be presiding. His Grace, the Bishop of Jerusalem, Maria Al-Assal, will be participating in the atonement. He'll come in on a big screen from Nazareth. And so Marsha will be there, of course. And Sheriff Mack and the constitutional sheriffs are turning up in force as well. So, friends, that becomes the new line in the sand. This is where we resurrect ourselves from the parent corporation, from the death grip of taxation.
From the parent corporation. No taxes.
And penury and traffic tickets. Yeah, and all of that.
No traffic tickets.
Resurrect ourselves. Please speak to that for a moment.
They're starting a sovereign cult.
I'll blow a Patriot Street Fighter gasket on that. Let's continue.
Okay, fair enough. We'll get to it. And no, this event is not open to the public. This is a closed event. We're anticipating capping it.
They just said it was open to the public. In the news, in the press.
350 people. We can obviously take thousands on the land, but we don't have much infrastructure. We have a large tractor, some barns, big marquees, lots of wigwams and tents being set up, obviously food trucks and RV.
Wigwams.
Camping grounds and RV parking spots. So it's going to be a fun gathering of pioneers. The new frontier, friends. The new frontier is where we step back from Rome, from Babylon. We disengage the visible and the invisible contracts from Sodom and Gomorrah. And we fulfill prophecy. The emergence and the resurrection of the angelic human coincides with the long prophesied emergence of the Rainbow Warrior tribe.
It's hard to get a speeding ticket with no roads. That's right.
Human. And I'll remind you, it's not just a human that's made up of the genetics of all of humanity, but we're made up of the stars, of the galactic planes, of the hyperdimensional spheres. It's why we're so remarkable. It's why now. But you love
this is much crazier than I thought. I'm glad we kind of looked into it. I need to watch all this at some other time, but
going to become the exclusives there with Scott McKay before others. Chief Phil Lane Jr. will be officiating.
Chief Phil. Chief Phil Lane Jr. You can tell he's a real Native American because we didn't give him one of them silly names. Chief Phil. of the local Native American Union 102s.
In Tennessee. The Kings of Africa will be coming in on the big screen. Oh, forgive me, don't know what happened there. Let me just go back a second. There we go. I'll be meeting with some of these Kings of Kings and Paramount Chiefs over the next 3 weeks, filming their goodwill messages for the consecration and proclamation event in Tennessee. They understand that what we're doing is so important, that once we pierce the corporate veil in middle America, it sets off a domino around the world, not just at the energetic level, at the manifest level. Piercing the corporate veil is piercing the corporate veil. And we're going to be releasing ourselves from the shackles of 500 years of hegemony.
He's got a nip about to fall out, and I see Scott eyeballing it pretty hard.
Hegemony of that arcane parent corporation, Crowns of Europe, Anglo-American, all of that stuff that was being rigged by the Midnight Mexicans and those
Chief Running Phil.
Masters. That's going to be a thing of the past at the end of this year into next year. Chief Phil Lane will be officiating on the day, and His Majesty King Edmund of Hawaii, the most remarkable hereditary
King Edmund of Hawaii.
In the United States. Wonderful human being. I shouldn't say that because he's a hereditary leader of the sovereign kingdom of Hawaii, which is recognized now by the United Nations and by the government here. So His Majesty will be coming in to officiate as well, I believe, with his Attorney General and with his Prime Minister. He joined me on stage a couple of weeks ago in Sedona for a 2-hour conversation speaking about this subject, sovereignty and where the new earth is, how the new earth is evolving and emerging. This was a few.
I wonder if they'll have that crazy Queen of Canada there.
In Asia, at the New Earth Haven in Bali, I'm sat 7th Dan Aikido Master Junior in white. To my left, sitting is one of the kings there of Indonesia. And
who are these people that picked up everything and moved? Is that Elon Musk? Sorry, I got sidetracked. Is that Elon Musk with a high and tight? The fuck's he doing there? Doge didn't work out.
The high priests came in, and hundreds of people came in. We were bridging east and west in ceremony, which was really a stepping stone to what we're doing in Tennessee, which is the main event, Midsummer's Day this year. And this is 1 minute long, but this was really the end of the.
White buffalo cat like song. These words are rendering. Hold on, I shall tell you as a friend, do it this way. Whatever you're doing, like with all your heart, soul. You get knocked down, get up. You get knocked down 1,000 times, get up 1,000 times.
You get knocked down, I get knocked down, but I get up again. They never gonna get me down.
Yes, sister, to see you. But look at the seal. Yes, yes, here's the color.
Beat that drum, baby. I want to hear it. Looks like Elon was the one filming. She's bored as fuck. You see this bitch back here? She's like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
How are you chosen? Yes, yes. If you do it that way.
It doesn't look like there's air conditioning, and also that those people smell.
That's exactly the way it's going to be. Exactly. Proceed as such. Instead of women. The same teachings. It will be.
So that really was the message that Chief. If you get knocked down 1,000 times, get up 1,000 times, because that is how the ancestors will see you.
Ooh.
Speaking to was the same message that came from the Master from Nazareth. Pure truth and right action. That's it. Pure truth and right action. And if you remain in pure truth and you right action, blood, that power, that glory, that majesty.
Sometimes I think, why didn't I come up with a really good scam? It doesn't seem that hard. They're just making shit up.
Will. A bit of conversation in a moment. I just want you to sign off.
Let's hear what Scott says about it.
Join the new quantum conversation. That ends the presentation in this live room. So how do we enjoin the new quantum conversation? It's really, for me, the importance of this October event. It's really where we begin this foray. We've won the war. The war is won. There may be a few firestorms or shit shows to navigate and obstacles. We're all born for that. But the war is won in that sense. Now we need to dial our consciousness into this incredible world, right?
Is he wearing Marine Corps rank?
I think that for me is what this Mediterranean retreat is going to trigger. Yeah, I get it.
Or is it just a shape? Maybe that's just a fire or something.
Haven't been to any of those places. I think I even had reservations myself.
Oh, okay. No. Okay. It's just leather.
Be hard to go on because I'm not that mobile unless on motorcycle wheels or tractor wheels. So my first concern is obviously going on walking, which I can't do obviously. It's a bit of a price I pay if I do it over distances. But as Sasha said, look, this is going to be an epic journey, and the gentleman who's going to be an incredible Dave Emery, as an archaeocosmologist, to be able to see the things we've been learning about over the last 5 to 10 years on the breadth of all creation on this planet, the timelines, the civilizations, all the things they've hid from us, the majesty of that, the magical depiction that these historic structures.
How old is their average audience member? 60? How much labor do you think they're going to be putting in there?
Represent in a world that we get to see ourselves live, not in books, not on the History Channel, not on TV, but we'll be there standing in the frequency of that edge of that civilization of what once was. We get to touch that. And once we're there and you're in that quantum field, you can't leave unaffected. Nobody, no human can. And I don't know this, I've been there. It's just what's coming to me. That is the greatest impact that it's going to have, being in these historic parts of the world, beauty, like probably haven't seen. Look, most
he just said, no, I don't know that. That's just what's coming to me. So once you enter our quantum field, you can't leave without being changed as a human. I don't know that. That's just coming to me.
venture outside the
He always has a fucking pistol.
States. The vast majority. Europeans do. It's easy to cross borders into other areas of Europe and that world. But from our perspective, having to go a distance over the pond to get close to something like that is unusual for us. And the opportunity to do it, to stretch it any way you can, to say, you know what, I need a life game changer in my world. I want to be with Sasha Stone on a boat for 10 or 12 days. I want to be standing in front of these massive artifacts and get an explanation from Dave Emery on the significance in our lives on this timeline and the journey that we're now a part of. Look, none of us are here at this time by accident. You don't know it. But for one reason or another, you're here under contract of your own, or you're here as a delivery system for something. These experiences are a better way to discover who you are. My discoveries came from trauma events, catastrophic events, paralyzing events, massive physical destruction, and uncertainty you live with for years, not knowing if you're going to have any semblance of life. Those were transformational events. But I had to be into the quantum realm to know that could happen. I just happened to throw the Bible overboard in 1999, said this to God, F you, we're done. Because my Christian upbringing, my conservative
Told God, F you, we're done. I'm quantum.
Born again Christian at 14. All of the weight of their bullshit dogma down on top of my shoulders, all of my life judging myself that I'm not good enough by anybody's standards, let alone a creator. That weight, under that dogmatic pressure, just made me blow a gas at quantum physics in my discoveries of trying to figure out, look, there's some reason why we're here. There's a divine blueprint. I know that. And it was epistemology, metaphysics.
See you, Julie's mom.
I studied quantum physics, became that second Bible for me, gave me an understanding of what Christ was trying to explain to the world before they killed him for it. And that allowed me to overcome these things and help me rise to a higher frequency within.
Support the show. I think I want to start a cult. By the way, thank you for the donation that did come in earlier. Appreciate it.
Within my own angelic DNA. That was a difficult thing to do. Very difficult.
Dude at coldread.fun.
Lucky for me, the traumas can be compartmentalized in areas where.
Let this soft mineral melt in your mouth to rebuild your gums and teeth and never need a dentist again. Did you know there is a natural way to regrow?
So I don't have to relive it over and over. But imagine being able to have that acceleration event into those realms, but it was from a positive experience by being in a part of the world to see things that few people see, that be standing in front of it, and history books now come alive in your soul. Educational events come alive in your soul because you are right there. This is what I am feeling and seeing in my mind. To have the experience be right in front of these amazing places and temples, and to be able to get an understanding from David Emery's point of view, what they truly mean in the significance of history, our future upcoming. But to be there with people who truly understand, who are marching on this journey, this path. And these are my words, not Sasha's. Sasha's were different. And it clicked in my head. I'm like, you're right. Under any and all circumstances, I have to be on this trip as well. But personally, I think this will be, of all the things I've seen or trips we've been on, this will be a true game changer. And I'd recommend anybody out there, if you can join this cruise. Look, we're all going to be hanging out together for 10
a cruise. They're taking a cruise as well. I forgot.
days. And having experience is one thing, but when you're having experiences with people on the same majestic track that you are on or want to be on, there can't be anything more powerful. They say the most powerful thing that ever happens in time is an idea whose time has come. And this idea, it is a time for us to start using our resources and time for things like this in this world versus all the bullshit matrix trimmings that they convince us to buy. Corporate veil.
Scooting the big boat.
These different things I studied. Quantum physics became that second Bible for me, gave me an understanding.
Scott says quantum physics is his Bible. But when you ask him about quantum physics, which is something you can actually study, he goes into the interaction of light and waves and space and the quantum and computing. Like, he just makes it up.
Of what Christ was trying to explain to the world before they killed him for it. And that allowed me to overcome.
Christ was trying to teach you about quantum physics, and then he got killed for it.
Things that helped me rise to a higher frequency within my own angelic DNA. That was a difficult thing to do. Very difficult. Lucky for me, the traumas can be compartmentalized in areas where mine, so I don't have to relive it over and over. But imagine being able to have that acceleration event into those realms, but it was from a positive experience in your soul because you are right there. This is what I am feeling and seeing in my mind. To have the experience be right in front of these amazing places and temples, and to be able to get an understanding from David Emery's point of view, what they truly mean in the significance of history. It clicked in my head. Will be, of all the things I've seen or trips we've been on, this will be a true game changer. And I'd recommend anybody out there, if you can join this cruise. Look, we're all going to be hanging out together for 10 to 12 days. And having experience is one thing, but when you're having experiences with people on the same majestic track that you are on or want to be on, there can't be anything more powerful. They say the most powerful thing that ever happens in time is an idea whose time has come. And this idea, it is a time for us to start using our resources and time for things like this in this world versus all the bullshit matrix trimmings that they convince us to buy with our productive capacity that they're using for bad, for other reasons. They're not in alignment with our angelic rise. But I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about all of this. Beautiful. So
our angelic rise.
Cruise.com. If you do want to come and you're coming as a Patriot Street Fighter, please, when you get to that site, newearthcruise.com, do specify that you're a Patriot Street Fighter, so we're clear about that. And I'm greatly looking forward to it myself. The idea of seeing Scott staggering around on deck in the middle of a Mediterranean storm, puking into his little unicorn cup, I mean, that for me is going to be priceless.
With one-way sneaker, of course, preservation. But there's nothing that'll lead you further into the world of belief than getting to watch Yellowstone at night with Sasha Stone having tea, wearing his fuzzy white boots. Who gets that? Who experiences that?
I did. I did. I have very, very fluffy white Ugg boots for one reason alone, and that is that the cyborg chooses to live inside a refrigerator with AC on, right? I'm a white African barefoot, not in Scott's house. I'm not. In any event.
Those are two items in my house that Tomahawk refuses to chew on.
So let's open this up. We're coming to an end. We're going to be doing some milling here with this fantastic live audience in Texas. But let's take a few questions. Christy, if you can, I'm not going to do it from here. Look in on questions maybe coming in. Anyone have any questions for me and or Scott and or Marsha connected to the Tennessee Golden Ticket Project? Again, ground zero is the 20th and 21st of this year, where we're all of us going to be convening there in RVs, Harley Davidsons, constitutional sheriffs, hereditary leaders, First Nation, indigenous peoples from all around the country. Great absolute bastions of truth and disclosure and pioneering thinking like Foster Gamble, Laura Eisenhower.
It's between $3,900 and $12,000 per person on the cruise. No vaccinations required. in big bold letters.
And others. And of course, our whole crew will be there for the duration. We are running a retreat for those people who want to sign up to that, which will be starting on the 19th, the day before, where I'll be beginning a retreat on the 19th.
They're running everything, dude.
Retreat day with the Hopi and with some other incredible stuff lined up for that retreat. And then the 8 fire ceremony in the evening. The following day, the 21st, will be the big consecration proclamation event, which will be live streamed to the world. Believe me, this is going to be a huge and historic event. No question about that. I've done a few in my time, and this is going to be truly historic. So millions of people around the world will be able to see it, but in situ, only 350 people. We're going to have to cap it at that. And then at the end of the 21st, most people will head out, and the retreat, people staying for the retreat will stay on for another 2 days of deep immersion, again, with Dr. David Martin and Kim Martin on the 12 senses, and Sky and Anahita, the Regenesis, Life Enhancement, River of Light Protocol. Incredible stuff at that retreat. So if you want to sign up for that, please do. And we'll be publishing that full spec on that imminently in the course of actually this week. I'm on a plane tomorrow to Africa. Like I said, I'll be back in 3 weeks to join Scott at the Trump Doral in Miami with Charlie Ward and other friends, and I'll be kicking off the second leg of my tour at that time, the social tour that I'm doing, because I only do social tours in America, and that tour ends up in Tennessee, Midsummer's Day. So, Christy, any questions coming in at your end?
We have some coming in that I think they've been about transparency. That question was answered. I don't know if you want to go into that again.
I don't think this is the forum. We already did that. But speak to Contact New Earth. You'll have a meeting with Dr. Manelli, who is our project director for Tennessee, former professor at San Francisco University. She resigned last year to join us full time. So she's been heading up the Tennessee project, and she will take any conversations forward. But any other points, questions coming from there? I'm going to open up to this audience, live audience. Any questions at all that anyone may have on anything that we've spoken to today? This is a good time. Just put your hands up so we can see you. Don't let me down. Oh, good. There are a few questions there. All right, very good. Thank you. Scott's going to take the mic, and this is ready to speak about Dr. Robert O. Young and what's happening there. Thank you for the question.
Very much so. Thank you. You saw Dr. Robert Young possibly on the International Tribunal for Natural Justice. Been a friend of Sasha's for a long period of time. I come to know Robert in the last 5 years. As anybody who has the capacity to utilize, God's true pharmacy, which is Mother Earth and the planet, these people have been a threat to Big Pharma's empire, $1 trillion empire forever. And Dr. Robert Young has been under attack for 30 years, and they've literally sent the Fed goons in to burn down buildings on his healing ranch. They've wiped him out. They've taken everything from him.
That's it. These guys are moving in next to me. I don't know what else to say. I'll watch this on my own some other time and see. They've got to have more updates than just this one. I had no idea this was coming until I saw it on my local news that a couple towns over, they're fighting a cult from coming up. Like they had a committee meeting or whatever, and there's a bunch of people there to complain about what this means, what it is, and what they're bringing. All right, guys, consider supporting the show. I would very much like to start a cult or at least a small harem. But I'm broke as fuck, don't have a job, and this is it. So go to coldbeer.fund. We'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining us. You guys have a good night. I'll see everybody on the next one. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this.
Oh, that's Scott talking in this song.
Don't have the fork
about me
to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go. I think I started some shit.
I forgot about that.
Some office about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Piss them off. It's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping Trump's cock and begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like Thor in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you...
Yes, he said Harlem, then Harvard, then Harlem, then Harvard. He couldn't figure it out.
Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped him to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? Stop. Fucking stop.
Love you. See you. Bye, guys.
Seriously. My mom's an alcoholic. Oh, give me a